Yes Network, the home of champions.
All the nasty weather has been blown away. The sun is shining on Yankee Stadium on this Sunday afternoon, and the veteran Andy Pettitte will be on the mound as the Yankees try for the sweep. As today, the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the defending World Series champion New York Yankees against the Texas Rangers in the final game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball. Along with John Flaherty, I'm Michael Kay. Another win for the Yankees yesterday, and if you look at the way the Yankees have started the season, it's all good news. You really have to be a negative person to find out any negative things. Let's take a look at some of the great things that are happening right now. 8-3 record, that's their best start since 03. They've won their first 4 series. You have to go all the way back to 1926, the last time that happened. Jeter's 11-game hitting streak. Alex Rodriguez finally with a home run. No errors in the last 9 games. Really the only negative, Mark Teixeira not yet hitting. Of all the good things happening, John, what's the thing that impresses you the most?
You know, I think overall what's most impressive is offensively, this team just grinds out at bats. I mean, Nick Johnson doesn't have a batting average over 200, but he walks, he makes pitchers work. We saw that yesterday in the ballgame. The Yankees offensively are just wearing starting pitching down.
Speaking of starting pitching, let's take a look at the starting pitching in this game. Rich Harden's going to go for the Rangers. No record, 2.79. Andy Pettitte's going to go for the Yankees. He's 1-0 with a 0.75, and Pettitte has been dealing, John.
Andy Pettitte did not get a lot of work, competitive work in spring training, but it has not affected him early on in the year. He's had 2 starts. They have both been outstanding. Tuesday against the Angels, he had an outstanding slider to the left-handers, Abreu and Matsui. He locates the fastball in the outer half. He's actually throwing a lot more curveballs early in the year, and he's off to a fantastic start.
So he will try to end this Yankee homestand. Coming up, Brett Gardner and I are going to lead off first base. What am I talking about? You have to stay tuned for segment 2 coming up next.
Bedbugs can be everywhere and anywhere. They can hide in your furniture or electronics of your office or home. And we know that there are other methods to treat bedbugs, but you can't use chemicals or heat to treat electronics. Don't compound your problem by damaging your property. Bring in the experts. Call Bell Environmental, and our bedbug dog, Roscoe, will find the problem. We use Instant Freeze, which is the only way to treat all your belongings safely. Stop playing around and call Bell Environmental.
For 500 years, Koreans have been practicing a unique heat therapy. This historical therapy was revealed by the 12 different types of saunas to release your daily fatigues and to restore yourself. Refresh your body and mind with the heat of a 500-year-old tradition. King Spa and Fitness.
Getting to the airport can be stress-free. Just call the 77s of Dial 7 Car and Limousine Service and let us get you there on time and smiling. Whether you're going to LaGuardia, Kennedy, Newark, or riding around town, Dial 7 saves you time and money. We've got a bold new look, and we're the best ride in town. Dial 7 Car and Limousine Service, 777-7777.
Welcome back to segment 2, everybody, and we are here with Brett Gardner standing at first base, and Brett got here 3 times yesterday with infield hits. So what are your thought process on that? Do you like getting the infield hits, or would you rather have line drive hits to the outfield?
No, I'd rather have line drive hits to the outfield, obviously. You know, it's a little less work for me, but you know, hits are pretty hard to come by sometimes. So you know, I'll take hits any way I can get them, or you know, any way getting on base, even if it's you know, a ground ball that makes them make an error or anything like that. My main job is to get on base for the guys hitting behind me.
Now, the last hit on Saturday, I think the chopper off the plate, after you crossed first base, you had a big smile on your face. What was going through your mind?
I'm just tired, you know. I've been hitting a lot of choppers since spring training started, and I haven't really been trying to. It was kind of frustrating during spring training because I was hitting the right 2 guys and wasn't really getting any hits out of it. But yesterday was just kind of one of those days where, you know, sometimes you hit a couple balls hard and don't have anything to show for it. And yesterday, I didn't really, hit my last ball hard and I got out. So, the 3 balls that I didn't hit hard, I got on base. And, it's a funny game. Sometimes things don't work out like we think they will. And, but everything, everything has its way of coming back around.
All right, quick quiz before we end, all right? You can get 4 infield hits or 2 home runs. What do you take?
4 infield hits. For sure, for sure. Your on base percentage is higher. You get on base, you score more runs. And, homers, that's not my game. I could try and hit homers, and I could probably hit a couple if I tried. But, I wouldn't get on base a high percentage of the time. And, that's not my game. We got 7 or 8 guys in the lineup that can do that, and my job is to get on base for them.
Thanks a lot, Brett.
Thank you.
That's Brett Gardner. When we come back, lineups, first pitch in baseball, right here on Yes.
Introducing the all-new Kazashi from Suzuki. Words don't do it justice, but they're giving it their best shot. Now you can lease an all-wheel drive Kazashi S for just $229 a month for 48 months.
The 2009 New York Yankees are world champions.
Yankees fans, get the inside scoop on everything Yankees by subscribing to Yankees Magazine. For just $49.99, you'll receive 8 issues of exclusive articles, interviews, and photos you won't find anywhere else. To subscribe to Yankees Magazine or to purchase other Yankees Publications products, call 1-800-GO-YANKS or log on to Yankees.com today.
We went around surprising people by swapping their rides with a Ford, and we got a little help from their friends and family.
Your car's been swapped for a week. It's a Ford Edge.
You guys are sneaky.
It's got your phone synced up.
And the automatic hatchback. Love that.
It has all kinds of features my Equinox does not have.
The Vista roof. I definitely think the sync system will be very useful.
Call Dad.
Call Dad.
Now lease a new 2010 Edge for just $259 a month during the Swap Your Ride sales event.
I feel edgy.
Very clever.
Big crowd making its way into Yankee Stadium. Yankees and the Rangers. Today's Rangers starting lineup presented by Lexus. Rangers come in at 5 and 6, and they'll lead off their shortstop, Elvis Andrus. Michael Young, the third baseman. Josh Hamilton in center field. The middle third of the order, Guerrero, Cruz, and Garco. And the bottom third of the order, David Murphy in left. Matt Trainer is the catcher, and Andres Blanco is the second baseman, batting ninth. Andy Pettit's ready. So is Elvis Andrus. Let's do it here in the Bronx. And the first pitch is a strike as we are underway.
Take a look at Andy Pettit. His numbers have been outstanding early on. 2 starts, a 0.75 ERA, 6 walks in 12 innings.
The 0-1. Check swing and grounded foul.
Take a look at our scouting report on Andy Pettit. We talked about his hot start, 0.75 ERA. And 12-6, he's been mixing in a few more curveballs than we're used to seeing from Andy Pettit in recent years. I think that's made his fastball a little bit better. And the starting staff is off to a great start. You know, Andy Pettit is a competitor, wants to follow CC Sabathia and A.J. Burnett and what they have done in this series.
Count 1 and 2. Julio Bourbon had led off the first 2 games and really is struggling. One of the lowest batting averages in baseball, so they move Andrus up to the top of the lineup for the second time this year. 1-2. Grounded foul. Andrus is 6 for his last 13, 10 for his last 24. Now the Yankees took the first 2 games of this series, so that means they take the series, and you keep winning series, you're going to have a great record at the end of the year, and the Yankees have won their first 4, and as we mentioned at the start, the first time the team has done that since 1926 when Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth were together. Hard to believe that that's the last time it happened. The Yankees have had so many championships since then, but the first time since 26. The only other time they'd done it was in 1922.
You remember
2 of them together in Monument Park.
Remember in recent years the Yankees kind of struggled to get out of the gate, and this year everything is just clicking. They're playing great defense. Talked about the starting staff really throwing the ball well, except for Javier Vasquez. The Yankees are looking to get him going. But yesterday was impressive, Michael. I mean, Feldman for the Rangers, one of the really good pitchers in the American League, and the Yankees just wore him down, fouling off tough pitch after tough pitch.
Popped up, shallow center field. Granderson calls off Swisher, and there's one away. Let's take a look at the entire Yankees defense, brought to you by Mercedes. We've already met Swisher and Granderson. In left field, Brett Gardner. To the infield, A-Rod, Pena. Jeter has a head cold. Cano and Teixeira third to first. Pena making his 12th career start at short. Posada is behind the plate. And Andy Pettitte is on the mound. Here's Michael Young. 6 hits in his last 21 at-bats. And a strike.
Michael, you mentioned Derek Jeter has a head cold, out of the lineup today. Took, what, a couple innings at the end of the game yesterday off. Surprising you never see Derek really take a day, even when he has some nagging injuries.
By the way, with a head cold yesterday, he had 3 hits and a home run. Pitch is high.
We've seen some high fastballs early from Andy Pettitte. You see Jorge Posada telling him to stay back on the mound a little bit longer. Working underneath a little bit.
Strike.
It's that curveball I talked about in our scouting report, throwing a few more early on this year, dropping it in. Nice rotation for a strike. It's going to make his fastball look a little bit better.
Count 2-2. Beautiful day here at the stadium. Friday and Saturday, miserable. Rain shortened game on Friday. Yesterday, threatening clouds overhead, but today, just white puffy clouds mixed up against a light blue background. Looks great. A little bit of a chill though. The 2-2 driven the other way. Let's get official and look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. 53 degrees, 45% humidity, 10 miles per hour is the wind, and the forecast is partly cloudy and cool. Check swing. Did he go? No, said Tim Welke.
We talked yesterday watching A.J. Burnett and the way he was pitching. The Rangers really were showing him that he had a good fastball already from Andy Pettitte. It looks like the Rangers letting us know he's got a good cutter in on the hands. A couple of check swings early on in this game.
Line drive, base hit to right.
Nothing new for Michael Young, a guy who usually gets 200 hits, a lot of them right field.
IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. How about yesterday, John, the 20-inning game between the Mets and the Cardinals? Now that's tough work for Tim McCarver and Kenny Albert on Fox.
It's a long day and a low-scoring day. Not a whole lot to talk about. What about we had a no-hitter yesterday too?
Yes.
Jimenez with the Rockies, first in their franchise history.
The guys I really felt for in the Met game were Howie Rose and Wayne Hagan. I mean, when you do a radio broadcast, you're talking the whole time, and that's over 7 hours of game about. That was just under 7 hours, and the Mets ended up winning that. The Cardinals had 2 position players pitch the last 3 innings. Strike. Talked about Ubaldo Jimenez's no-hitter, first in Rockies history. Mets win 2-1 over St. Louis, 6 hours and 53 minutes. And Tim Lincecum wins again against the Dodgers, 6 shutout innings and 3 RBIs. Looking for his 3rd straight Cy Young Award, although he's going to have to battle Roy Halladay. Rolled over on that one, soft ground ball to second, so Hamilton is out as Young advances up to second base.
Well, how many wins is that for Lincecum now, early on?
3-0, and so is Halladay 3-0.
You know, it just shows you spring training for an established guy like that doesn't mean anything, because Lincecum was getting beat up this spring. Then he comes out opening day, does his thing.
And also with Andy Pettitte, you know, he's making a case for what does really spring training mean. Now, he got his work in, but he didn't really get competitive work because he didn't face other teams. He faced his own team in simulated games because of all the rain down in Tampa. It has not affected him thus far. And it hasn't affected him this inning. Ground ball of Pena. Guerrero is out, and that will do it. So the hit by Young is wasted. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left. Rangers nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat.
Heard there's Green Mountain coffee in the studio.
Yes orders it from WB Mason.
Thank you, Stanley.
Mason has the greatest online ordering.
Their site is P2P fully integrated and Flash enabled.
Means it's fast. Really fast. Whoosh!
Could we be...
Trapped inside a WB Mason commercial?
You like your coffee flavored, right?
you know what I like.
You guys know you're on TV?
Conventional automotive frames absorb energy, but this one does more. It collapses in some areas while staying rigid in others to help redirect energy around the cabin and away from you. The ACE body structure in the Acura MDX. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura.
Now that is a sun umbrella, much different than the past 2 days, which were rain umbrellas that were out at the stadium. Let's take a look at today's Yankee starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. A little bit of a different lineup against Rich Harden because Derek Jeter is out with a head cold. Brett Gardner moves up to the top of the lineup. He'll lead off and play left field. Nick Johnson, the DH, bats second. Batting third and playing first, Mark Teixeira. Alex Rodriguez at third base cleans up. Batting fifth and playing second base, Robinson Cano. Jorge Posada will catch. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh and playing center field, Curtis Granderson. Nick Swisher's in right field hitting eighth, and batting ninth and playing shortstop, filling in for Jeter, is Ramiro Pena.
Well, the Yankee lineup going to go to work against Rich Harden, a talented young right-hander, first year with the Texas Rangers. Take a look at his numbers to start out. It'll be his third start. 2.79 ERA, 8 walks in 9 2/3. He's going to want to clean that up a little bit. But opponents only hitting 182. Or look at his scatter report. Will he be worth the risk? He signed for $6.5 million, 28 years old. If he can stay healthy, he's going to help the staff. And 25 or more starts in back-to-back years. That's the first time he's ever done it in his career. But this could be a bad matchup for him. He throws over 20 pitches an inning on average, and we know the Yankees will make you throw the ball over the plate. We'll see how it works out.
This is Gardner's 24th career start in the leadoff spot, and he bunts, and it's a beauty. Oh, and it rolls foul. Usually it stays fair that long. It's going to stay fair, but it hits something and then just kicks slightly foul.
Well, it hit the lip of the grass, and a nice play by the veteran Michael Young just to let this ball roll foul. These are things you pay attention to in batting practice on how the ball, if you bunt it, will slope away. And it's a perfectly placed bunt, but right when it hits the lip of the grass, it's going to fall into foul territory.
You see that little blade of grass pop up there? I wonder where that came from. Well, Gardner gets on, but this time a lot more painful, as he will get to first base hit by a pitch.
Yankee fans not real happy about it. Like a fastball right off that right calf, and you wonder if Harden not real happy about Brett Gardner leading off the game with a bunt. Let's see why that would be a problem.
Joe Girardi wants to get a look at Brett Gardner. Steve Donahue already out there, says he's okay. Now you saw segment 2, John, when I asked Brett that question. 2 home runs or 4 infield hits. Are you surprised he took the 4 infield hits?
Not really. We talked yesterday that that's his game, is putting the ball in play, trying to get on base. And, you know, and now he's a threat to be on second base shortly, maybe third. Well, what do you think, Michael? He leads off the game with a bunt attempt. Next pitch hits him in the right leg. And you always think back to Nolan Ryan, who did not like hitters bunting against him. Maybe Harden adopting that same philosophy. We'll see. Now he's got to worry about him at first base.
It does seem a little odd. The next pitch after the bunt attempt. But also, doesn't it play against what's good for you? I mean, why would you put this guy on unless you really zapped him in the leg that he couldn't run?
Like, yeah, he's got to worry about him now, but you wonder if that's a little message. I wasn't real happy with that.
Harden's a 28-year-old, and the only thing that has stood between Harden and real success is health. He's got the stuff, but been hurt a lot. They've been able to be on the mound every 5 days.
He's been a guy who's always had a great arm. Hard thrower, has battled a lot of shoulder problems in his career, had some back problems last year. Early indications here in this game, doesn't look like he's got a blazing fastball.
You know, we talked about the infield hits the Yankees had, or the 3 by Gardner. This is an incredible stat. In the 2 games against the Rangers, they've had 10 infield hits. Now, some of it, John, I think you'd agree, is shoddy defense that's been generous official scoring, but 10 infield hits in 2 games. This is not exactly the Cardinals of the early 80s. Fly ball down the left field line. David Murphy giving chase, and he runs out of room.
Brett Gardner has not been able to get a good jump off of Harden. He looks like he's pretty quick to the plate. Does not have a high leg kick. Brett's having a tough time getting a good read.
Strike 3, Nick Johnson down looking. Let's take a look at the Rangers defense, brought to you by Mercedes. In the outfield, Murphy, Hamilton, and Cruz. That's left to right. Infield, Young, Elvis Andres Blanco, Ryan Gargo. That's third to first. Trainer behind the plate. His 4th start this season. Teagarden simply is not hitting, and Harden is on the mound. Here's Mark Teixeira. Joe Girardi told me before the game that the last 2 at-bats that Teixeira had in yesterday's game was as good as he's looked this year, and they're hoping that something can come out of it. He said he used his bottom half the right way, better than he had previously. Check swing down the left field line and out of play.
You talked about all those infield hits. I'm sure Mark would take 1 or 2 of those, maybe possibly to get him going. Some positive thoughts. I'm surprised Joe Girardi actually said that, Michael, because we replayed one of those swings where he hit a fly ball, and it still looked like he was collapsing a little bit, working underneath. See if he has a better day today.
Gardner goes. There's a strike. Throw to second. It gets away from Andrus, and a stolen base for Gardner.
Matt Trainer making his 4th start of the year, and it was not a great jump. Harden did a good job, and this is really an opportunity for Trainer to throw out Brett Gardner. That's as good of a look as you're going to get behind the plate. He just rushes the throw a little bit, a little low. But Brett Gardner did not have the best jump there, and he's still safe. His 6th stolen base of the year.
Inside as Teixeira spins out of the way. Say, got him. 2nd hit batter by Rich Harden. If you're going to get hit, I guess that's the way to get hit. It probably hit the blousy part of his uniform.
Behind in the count. Mark, you're struggling a little bit. You'll take this. It looked like it just nipped his jersey. It's tough to see there, but early on, Harden is showing the Yankees he's not going to be afraid to pitch inside. He hit Brett Gardner, hit Mark Teixeira.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Hit his first home run yesterday in his 42nd at bat of the year. And Joe Girardi said usually for Alex they come in bunches. He can hit 5 in a week once he gets going. Blocked by Trainer.
Alex had that unbelievable postseason last year and really finished up the year strong, and he was kind of going with the no stride, really using his hands a lot better. And watching him early this year, he's got a little leg kick going, and you kind of change your stance and your mechanics year to year on what works. But you watch that front foot, he's got a little bit of a leg kick, not as bad as it was early in his career. But last year at the end, he was really using his hands as good as I had ever seen him. Check out the little leg kick. Pretty pronounced there. A lot more movement than we saw at the end of last year.
Just got a piece to foul it back. 2-1.
Take a look. Yesterday, Alex had a couple of hits, and the home run. Middle of the plate, drives it to right center. Leg kick not as pronounced with that swing, and you really saw how the hands worked because of it.
And he passed Mark McGwire into sole possession of 8th place on the all-time home run list. Next stop, Frank Robinson. Foul back here.
Good swing by Alex there. Got a 2-1 fastball. Who's not thinking about punching it the other way. Big leg kick, and he really lets it fly. Nice extension. That's one you want back. You want that pitch back. You just got a mistake. You fouled it off. Now you got to battle a little bit.
And the count 3-2. 16 pitches for Harden already. Let's manage a little, John. Do you send him 3-2?
I would send Gardner. You know, and Tex, I think you follow Brett's lead. If Brett gets a good jump and you get a nice lead at first base, you can follow and see if you can get there. I'd be surprised if Harden throws another fastball. It's been 2 in a row.
Harden trying to keep Gardner close.
I think he's thinking the same thing here, Michael. If I can get a strike him out, possibility of a throw him out double play to get out of the inning, I would expect some sort of a cutter or a slider here.
They don't go, and the pitch is way outside and in the dirt. The bases are loaded, and what a rally for the Yankees. Hit batter, and a walk.
Talked about it in the scouting report. Harden averages over 20 pitches per inning. Mike Maddox, a pitching coach, going to come out and have a conversation.
He throws a lot of pitches per inning, so he's right where he usually is. 20.1 pitches per inning. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. There's some good pitchers on that list. Bonderman and Lester. Sometimes you just throw a lot of pitches.
A lot of strikeout pitchers on that list right there. Obviously, it's going to raise your pitch total a little bit if you're a strikeout guy. Harden would be classified as a strikeout pitcher.
Led the National League with strikeouts per 9 innings. In fact, he led baseball at 10.91, just ahead of Lincecum. So here is Robinson Cano with the bases loaded and 1 out here in the bottom of the first. And there's a strike. Yankees have had 5 or more walks in 6 of their 11 games so far this year. Fly ball, center field. That's going to get in a run with Gardner at third. Hamilton backs up, makes the catch. The throw comes to third. It's a sac fly for Cano, and the Yankees are on the board. They lead 1-0.
Nice job of situational hitting by Robinson Cano. Brett Gardner getting congratulated. Actually impressed. Robinson took a first pitch slider from Harden, and then he got a fastball and did what he was supposed to do. A nice fly ball to center field. Gets the Yankees on the board. conversations that go on after the at-bats. Nick Swisher trying to pick up some information. How did you see the ball? Was there movement on the fastball? Now you get your game plan in your head, what you're looking for. Ready to go to work.
Here's Posada. Obviously off to a great start at the age of 38. Breaking ball is a strike. Picked up his 1,500th hit yesterday. Fourth Yankee catcher to it. Yogi Berra, Bill Dickey. There's Yogi and Thurman Munson.
Yeah, you're on TV, Yogi. Smile.
And those are the two retired eights, one for Berra and one for Dickey. Strike three, Posada down looking. So a good comeback for Harden, who had the bases loaded with one out and allowed just one run. One run, no hits, no errors, and two men left. After one, Yankees lead 1-0.
One that's backed by a 100,000-mile powertrain warranty and named a Consumer's Digest Best Buy 2 years in a row. Discover Malibu for yourself and see why over 1,000 people a day are switching to Chevy. During the spring event, qualified lessees can get a low-mileage lease on this new Malibu LS for around $199 a month. Call for details.
Call 877-64-CHEVY.
KGB is a better way to answer any question.
To prove it, Paul will browse the web.
And Mike will text KGB. The question, what's I surrender in Japanese?
What? Hakeyoi!
Akirameru.
Kakete ko debucho. For answers, not links, text your questions to 542-542.
That looks like somebody's a winner.
Not me, because shipping's a hassle. Different states, different rates.
Not with priority mail flat rate boxes from the Postal Service. If it fits, it ships anywhere in the country for a low flat rate.
So shipping for the chess champ in Charleston is the same as shipping for the football phenom in Philly?
Yep.
So I win.
Actually, I think you deserve this.
No, I deserve this.
Wow, you have one of those with a mailman on top?
Priority mail flat rate box shipping starts at $4.95, only from the Postal Service. A simpler way to ship.
Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Honda. Visit your Honda dealer during the Really Big Things sales event for special leases on all Honda cars and trucks. By NYSERDA. Go to ShiningExampleNY.com to find out how you can be in one of our next TV commercials. And by Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the New York Yankees. Well, an eventful first inning. Two Yankees get hit by pitches. Yankees score a run against Harden. We go to the second. Here's Nelson Cruz. And the pitch low, 1-0. Cruz with a 3-run home run yesterday. His 7th home run of the year.
He had an up and down day, struck out 3 times against A.J. Burnett. He was able to hit the home run off of Alfredo Aceves, a home run to right center field. 7-15 already early on, leads the American League.
Clean it up. It's all part of the job. And Nelson Cruz walks on 4 pitches. So Andy pitched the home opener, pitched beautifully. He's gone 12 innings, allowed just 1 run. And he'll try to finish off this homestand with a victory, give the Yankees a 5-1 mark in their first go-around here in the Bronx. Here's Ryan Garco. And Posada wants to talk with Pettit. A lot of his pitches have been high, John. What does that mean?
Yeah, I just think he's rushing down the mound a little bit. And it's kind of like Mark Teixeira. When you drift forward, you're going to work underneath as a hitter. It's the same thing as a pitcher. When you're a little quick coming down the mound, where Posada is going to try to slow him down a little bit. I guess the one thing that you could say negatively about Andy Pettit is that maybe he's walked a little bit too many early on, but he always seems to find a way to work his way out of trouble, pick up a double play here and there. Very comfortable pitching out of the stretch.
And a strike. After this game, the Yankees are going to head to the West Coast. First stop Oakland, then Anaheim. And then from Anaheim, they don't come home. They actually go to Baltimore for 3 games. So a very long road trip for the Yanks. 9 games, and they'll be gone 11 days.
Playing some tough teams, too. The Oakland A's got out of the gate pretty quickly. The Angels struggling, but always a tough matchup for the Yankees. And going to Baltimore, who's really struggled early on.
Strike.
You might see a few more of those, Michael. That the slow curveball. Anytime you have a pitcher who's rushing a little bit, you're a catcher. You try to call a few more off-speed pitches, maybe some change-ups and curveballs, because you have to stay back to execute that pitch. Good call, good pitch.
Fouled away. .25 pitches for Andy so far. Nobody out here in the second inning.
Ryan Garco gets a start today, giving Chris Davis a day off. A lefty hitter against a left-handed pitcher, Andy Pettit. Garco is going to get a start.
And the count 2-2. Now, once the Rangers got Garco, it kind of took away their need to acquire Mike Lowell. They had actually made a deal for Lowell, and then he had to have wrist surgery, so that deal was rescinded with the Red Sox pending the surgery. And then the Red Sox tried to send Lowell back here, but the Rangers didn't have the money to acquire him. That could be a double play. There's one, and there's 2. Hey, it's time for the Toyota text poll. Today's question is, if the game you were attending went 20 innings, would you stay for the whole game? Text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. The answer: 1, yes, or 2, no. I think it's all according to age and responsibility, John. Now, I guess weather is also a factor, but if I'm 20 years old, I'm there with my buddies, I'm staying the whole time.
And if I'm 42 years old and I have my 3 kids with me, there is no chance we're staying for 20.
What's the most you'll stay? 6, 7, 8?
Yeah, 6 or 7 is probably at the point where they lose their concentration.
I wonder if you'd stay there with your rabbit. It looked like the little rabbit had restless leg syndrome. The 2-0.
You tell Andy a little frustrated early on, does not look comfortable. Leadoff walk and then picked up a double play to pick up 2 outs here in the second, but behind on a lefty. Murphy 3-0.
I once came to the stadium, John. I guess I was 11 or 12. Went with my sister and some of her friends. Doubleheader against the Kansas City Royals. First game was 11 innings, and the second game went 18 innings.
You stayed all the way.
Ground ball to third. That'll do it. I stayed till the 16th inning of the second game when my parents physically removed me. We go to the bottom of the second. And Posada down swinging.
Yeah. Georgie, it's for you.
Hello? Didn't I tell you to stop chasing that high stuff? Dad? And open up your stands. They're jamming you inside.
You gotta love DirecTV. Georgie's dad never misses a pitch, all the way from Florida. And he gets the most games in HD.
Follow your favorite team no matter where you live with MLB Extra Innings on DirecTV.
Hello? Dad?
Time to take the show on the road. It's the 2010 GMC lineup. Now qualified lessees can get a low-mileage lease on the 2010 GMC Acadia for just $359 per month. See dealer for details. And meet the all-new 2010 GMC Terrain, a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. We brought the auto show to the showroom, so you can take it home. See your Tri-State Buick GMC dealer.
You wouldn't send a kid with a garden hose to put out a 5-alarm fire. So when you get hit by bed bugs, stop kidding around. Call Bell Environmental, the experts you can trust. Roscoe, our bed bug sniffing dog, will find the problem, and our instant freeze will fix it. Bell Environmental treats your home or office without harmful chemicals or damage to your belongings. Safe and thorough. That's Bell Environmental, the professionals you can trust.
Let's look at the American Airlines upcoming schedule. This is the final game of the homestand, and tomorrow's an off day. Then the Yankees are in Oakland 3 straight days, 2 night games, and then the afternoon game at 3:35. Then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Anaheim to meet the Angels. Then Monday's an off day, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night in Baltimore. So a very, very long road trip early in the season.
Looking at that trip, I know Kenny Singleton and myself will have the whole West Coast swing. You going on vacation for a week?
No, I'll be working. You're doing a lot of prep work for the Baltimore series.
A lot of prep work, a week's worth of preparation.
He's all decked out in those little pink sunglasses, ready to roll. Little West Coast look right there. The 2-0. Line drive and a foul ball.
Granderson's gotten off to a good start, and I love what he does early in his swing, Michael, when he gets ready to hit. He gets that front foot down really early. And he has that nice little hesitation where all he has to do is see the ball and then let his hands go to work. A lot of times you see hitters get going late. Curtis Granderson gets everything done early and slow.
And he works a walk. So the Yankees getting a lot of free passes to first base. 2 walks and 2 hit batters. Today after the postgame, don't miss an all-new WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show. The Yankee skipper recaps all the excitement of the home opening series against the Angels and the Rangers, plus a look ahead to the Bombers' West Coast trip. It's all new today after the postgame, only on Yes.
I have to believe the way the Yankees have started, that was probably a pretty happy Joe Girardi show, huh?
It was a happy Joe Girardi show. Yes, it was.
Not a whole lot to complain about.
Popped up off the bat of Swisher. And Andrus is called off by Murphy to make the play. So Nick, a rare at bat where he jumps on an early pitch in the count, pops it up.
And he got a good pitch. He got a fastball and put a pretty good swing. Just worked underneath a little bit. You see Murphy calling off Andrus. Proper play if the outfielder has a beat on it. See, it's a fastball. It's right down Broadway. If you're going to be aggressive on the first pitch, and you can see Nick did not see where the ball went, and then he decides I got to start moving here in case this ends up in fair territory.
Pena takes a pitch high. Now, Pena last year made 28 starts, and he hit 275 in those starts. So his bat is a lot further along than the Yankees thought before last year. They always felt that he was overpowered at the plate, wasn't strong enough, but he came up, he was a different hitter. And that one is driven out to left field. Murphy, 2 away.
Pena did a nice job last year where he wasn't playing every day, so when he would get his opportunities and get a pitch to hit, he put it in and play hard. And that's the key, being a backup guy. When you get a pitch and you get a good swing, you better find a hole. He did a good job of that last year.
Here's Brett Gardner. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning, stole second, eventually moved to third, where he scored on a sac fly off the bat of Cano, and that's the scoring in the game. Now, he was hit by a pitch on the right leg just below the knee. One pitch following an attempted bunt down the third baseline. So maybe Harden didn't like that. Tried to make him skip rope, but clipped him, and then he ended up paying for it.
Might be an opportunity here for Granderson to try to steal a bag, get himself in scoring position. He has 4 already, has not been thrown out. 2 outs, not a bad situation. Try to steal second. If you get thrown out, Brett Gardner's going to lead off the next inning.
Gardner admitted in the segment 2 where we spoke to him, he's not hitting the ball the way he wants, just not driving it at all. And that's why he'll take those infield hits, because it keeps you out of slumps, but he's not happy where his swing is right now. He wasn't that happy in spring training either. That one is chopped up the middle and through for a base hit.
Not happy with his swing, but now he's going to be hitting over 300 early on in the season. That's because of his speed. The 3 infield hits yesterday, and stays on top, chops it right back up the middle, and has a nice top spin, so that second hop is going to make sure it gets into center field.
Here's Nick Johnson, struck out in the first inning, struck out looking. Look at the difference between the average and the on-base percentage. That doesn't make it seem as if he's slumping that much when you have a 420 on-base percentage. John, is there such a thing as taking too many pitches, being too patient?
Yeah, sure. And I was never a patient hitter. I mean, right when the pitcher threw a fastball, I was swinging at it. But it's going to be a fine line for Nick this year, because I think he's going to see pitchers attack him a lot more because of the players hitting behind him. It's blocked by Trainer. But I think Nick is going to realize, you know what, I can be a little bit more aggressive and help this team. I mean, you love his approach that he doesn't swing at too many bad pitches. But when you have a guy like Teixeira and Alex Rodriguez hitting behind you, boy, pitchers is going to come right after you. From a catching standpoint, Michael, and you go over scouting reports, you talk about Nick Johnson. He's patient. He's going to take strike 1. So you really just try to go out there and lay a fastball right down the middle. And Nick can take advantage of that. You're going to surprise some people in the American League. You go up there and try to do some damage early in the count on a first pitch fastball.
And the count 3-1. Well, he is going to force you to throw strikes, though. He is not helping you out. Foul back. So great speed on the bases for the Yankees. This is one of those situations with a 3-2 count and 2 outs, John, that Brett Gardner could actually score from first on a single.
Pay attention. Ryan Garko is going to play behind Brett, obviously, but if he gives him a little too much room, you're right, Michael, he can take a big initial lead and then get a quality break, and he could score on a single. You're right.
Broken bat popped up. First base side, foul territory. They'll do it again. McKelleher gets the remains of that bat. Granderson off second, Gardner off first. There they go. Strike three. And Johnson down looking for the second time today. No runs, one hit, no errors, and two men left on base. We played two at the stadium. It's 1-0 Yanks. Puffy clouds and blue skies above Yankee Stadium. We go to the third, 1-0 Yankees, and the first pitch to Matt Trainer is a strike from Andy Pettitte. Rangers 5-6 on the season. The Yankees are 8-3. There's a base hit to left field. Second base hit allowed by Andy Pettitte. This moment in Yankees history brought to you by Johnny Walker. Demand greatness in every sip and every season. Johnny Walker, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. Back on April 18th of 1923, the original Yankee Stadium opens right behind the first base line here of the new Yankee Stadium, and Babe Ruth hits the stadium's first home run, and the Yankees beat Boston 4-1. And that is left, or what's left of the house that Ruth built. Almost looks like an opera house now. A bunt. Fielded by Pettitte. Fires to first, and they get Andres Blanco. So we'll score that a sac bunt, 1-3. This is how it looked in 1923, a flyover. And this was just an unbelievable opening because nobody had ever seen a ballpark so grand and majestic, and Babe Ruth christened it. It was called the house that Ruth built, and how apropos that he was the one who hit the first home run in a 4-1 victory. Differing accounts, there were over 70,000 people there. And now it's all moved across the street to this gleaming new Yankee Stadium. Christened last year with a championship. There's a strike to Elvis Andrus. '27-time world champions, and those flags now fly overhead to remind every opponent this is the legacy of this franchise. All 27 flags fly above the stadium. And that's new this year. They'd never done it before. And that's the main flag.
I always remember at the old stadium looking up at the flags, and it would tell you what place everybody was in each division.
Wondering that now in the American League East, the Yankees 8-3 start have them in first place.
Tampa Bay's gotten off to a nice start.
Yankees in Tampa Bay are tied at 8-3. They beat the Red Sox twice yesterday. One, they picked up a suspended game, and they took the second one. Toronto is 7-5. Boston 4-7. That's past a diving A-Rod and down the left field line. That's going to tie the game as Trainer will score easily. Elvis Andrus is going to stop at second with an RBI double, and the game is 1-1.
We talked a little bit early on that Andy Pettitte didn't look entirely comfortable, and you watch this cutter here. Andrus pulls it right down the line, out of the reach of Alex Rodriguez. We saw a Trainer earlier to lead off the inning, the same thing, pulling a cutter. Again, it just tells you that Andy maybe not as sharp as we've seen his first two outings. Right-hander's able to get to that cut fastball and keep it fair and pull it down the line.
Almost got him. Good quick move.
No Andy Pettit for his pickoff move to first base, but showing a nice spin move here. See Robinson Cano, the open hand, tells Andy Pettit we have a play.
Pitch to Michael Young is up and away. 1-0.
Problem with Robinson Cano keeping Andrus close there at second base is you open up that hole for Michael Young to hit the ball the other way, which he did his first at bat, had a base hit to right field. Because of that, Mark Teixeira is kind of sliding over towards second base a little bit.
Pitch outside.
Robinson here paying attention to Andrus at second, so Mark Teixeira moves a little bit further over. Try to defend against Young hitting the ball the other way.
Three and 0 now. So far this year, Michael Young 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position. And the pitch. Laid it right in there for a strike. The 3-1 pitch, line drive. It's a base hit to right field. Andrus is going to round third and head home. Here's the throw from Swisher, and not a good throw because it went over the cutoff man. Andrus scores, and that allowed Young to go to second. 2-1 Rangers lead.
Yeah, Nick Swisher's not going to be happy with himself there. I mean, really, there was no play at home. It was a good, strong throw, but like you said, overthrowing Mark Teixeira, the cutoff man, that enables Michael Young to get into scoring position. You can see it's a strong throw. Just too high. No play. Now Michael Young in scoring position at second base.
Now, if he had thrown it low enough where they could actually have cut it off, well, then you freeze Michael Young, because you know if the ball is going to be cut off, then you could get the play at first.
Yeah, Michael Young sees the height of that throw. Doesn't miss a beat, gets into second base easily.
Count 1-1.
Watch Josh Hamilton take batting practice out on the field today, hitting everything the other way. Preparing himself to face the left-hander Andy Pettit. Driving balls to left center and BP.
Line drive. Oh, what a play by Teixeira. Tries to get the double play but cannot. Full extension for Mark Teixeira. Take a double and an RBI away from Hamilton.
Line drive by Hamilton. See the reactions of Mark Teixeira. Then he comes up trying to get the double play at second base, but Michael Young's going to get back. Curveball that just hangs in the middle of the plate. Hamilton hit it right on the nose.
And here's Vladimir Guerrero. And a strike. The 1-1 inside.
take a look at our Home Depot scouting report on Vladimir Guerrero. It could be a steal of a deal, only $5.5 million. If he stays healthy and he's in great shape early on this year, it could be a great deal. And he gives you a little veteran stability in the middle of this young Texas Rangers lineup. Always a quality RBI run producer.
A 1-1. Big healthy cut. Off speed pitch. Change up there, 1-2.
The changeup, maybe a rolling curveball down off the plate. We talked about it the first couple of games of this series. You do not have to throw him anything close to the plate here. Ahead in the count, 1-2. Make him chase your pitch.
Popped up. This one a much easier play for Teixeira, and he puts it away for the final out of the third inning. But the Rangers take the lead. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We played 2.5, 2-1 Texas.
Welcome to the really big thing.
Oh, thank you.
We usually don't have events.
His way up to Director of Office Operations, and then finally Director of Premium Services. That's his mom right there, Maddie Winston, with his brother and his sister. A good man, a man who was always smiling, a guy who just brought joy to the Yankee family, and taken much too soon at the age of 49. Harvey, we will miss you. He was a fixture around the stadium for so long. He grew up here, and he passed away on January 6th, and there will be a plaque in his honor in Yankee Stadium. The 0-1 is driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya! Game-tying home run from Mark Teixeira. Is he coming out of his slump? That's a good way to start.
Michael, you talked about it. Joe Girardi yesterday said he liked Mark Teixeira's last couple of at-bats. Got hit by a pitch his first at-bat. Now he picks up his first home run of the year. Fastball right down the middle. Nice backspin, nice extension. More importantly, ties this ball game up. Take a look at the back leg. That's what he's been collapsing. He stays a little taller. We love that finish.
Count 2-0 on Rodriguez. Joe Girardi admitted to me today, he said Teixeira's slump is becoming a concern for him. He said not for the long-term aspect, because you know he's going to end up with what he usually ends up with. He said, but just mentally, how it can wear down on a player. He said there's no way you can go through that and not have it affect you.
Yeah, and I don't care if you're a player like Mark Teixeira, who you know the numbers are going to be there at the end of the year, or a guy like me who you didn't know the numbers were going to be there because the hitting was such a struggle. It wears you down mentally. Coming to the field every day with that anticipation, today's the day it's going to turn, and then when it doesn't, it just seems to get worse.
And Alex Rodriguez walks for the second time. So here's Robinson Cano, runner at first, nobody out. Yesterday, Cano didn't get a hit for the first time. So his hitting streak ended at 10 straight. Trying to start another one today. Had a sac fly in the first inning. Harden deals. Foul back.
Robinson had a good first at bat, a little sacrifice fly to center field. And he had a good swing on a fastball that first pitch from Harden.
Count 0-2. So Harden closing in on 50 pitches here in the third inning. Rangers and the Yankees 2-2. And the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Cano down on strikes.
Robinson Cano had a good swing at a first pitch fastball, but after that, a couple of sliders down and in. And obviously not picking up the rotation. It's a hard slider, about 80 miles an hour, and obviously Robinson not able to pick up the spin.
Here's Posada. Posada struck out looking in the first inning. Count 1-0.
See if Jorge learned anything from his first at bat. He struck out looking at an inside two-seam fastball from Harden. We've seen from Jorge through the years, he learns bat to at bat what a pitcher is trying to do to him. Let's see if he's sitting on that inside fastball this at bat. Try to put a good swing on it.
Foul back.
And there was a good swing. He struck out on the fastball the first at bat looking, and he gets a fastball pretty much right down the middle, up a little bit. Had a good pass, just fouled it off. Always amazed playing with Jorge. He would go up there sometimes looking for one pitch in one zone, and if he got it, boy, he hit it hard. And he was disciplined enough that if he didn't get it, he would just take the other pitches and wait until he got the pitch he was looking for. Not easy to do.
I did the game with Paul O'Neill and Tino Martinez in Tampa, and Paul said that's how Tino used to hit. He'd come up there and he'd say, all right, I'm going to look for a pitch right here, and he would spin on other pitches that would seem hittable, but he had that one pitch in his mind.
And it sounds easy to do. It's not the easiest thing. To be disciplined to take strikes, but they're not the strike you're looking for.
And then in O'Neill's case, he said he worked totally off the fastball. Never looked for anything else but a fastball and had to adjust. The 3-1. There's a strike. What was your philosophy, John?
You know what? If it was hard, swing at it. You know, obviously I didn't like the slider or the changeup, and I would always try to get a fastball and put it in play early in the count. I was not a patient hitter. I agree with Paul. I would just try to adjust to the off-speed pitches. Put it this way: if a guy had a good slider, a good curveball, I mean, you're not going to hit it anyway. You're hoping for a mistake, so you might as well hunt the fastball.
Once heard a story about Mike Schmidt, the Hall of Famer, great third baseman for the Phillies, and he always had trouble with Tom Seaver. And one of his hitting coaches said, well, what are you looking for with Seaver? He goes, well, I'm looking for a slider. He goes, yeah, but if he throws a slider the way he's going to throw it, you can't hit it anyway. So why are you sitting on a pitch that you can't hit? And that was a Hall of Famer who thought like that. Runner goes. Foul back.
You know what? I always used to shake my head too, Michael, because everybody in the league knew I was a fastball hitter. I mean, if you throw me sliders, I'm going to strike out. And I actually broke up a Pedro Martinez no-hitter with 1 out in the 9th inning. He throws me back-to-back sliders. I swing and miss by a foot. And then he tries to sneak a fastball by me, and I hit it to right field for a base hit. You just shake your head like, why would you do it? You will get a fastball if you're patient enough.
3-2, runner goes again, and that one's popped up. Shallow left, coming on Murphy, still coming on. It's a fair ball. Landed right near the line or on the line. A bloop single for Posada.
See Ron Washington looking out at Murphy in left field. Lands right on the line. Jorge Posada's going to pick up a base hit. Seemed like that ball was up there a long time for Murphy, not even to be that close to it. Running a long way, obviously playing Jorge to pull a little bit and couldn't get there down the line.
So here's Curtis Granderson with runners on first and second and 1 out. Strike. Snap throw to second. Not in time. Almost got A-Rod. Snap throw by Trainer.
Good throw by Trainer. You can see Alex Rodriguez caught flat-footed a little bit, and Andrus comes up in front of second base. I don't understand why he does that. A good throw from Trainer right on the bag. You see Andrus in front of the bag. Maybe if he's back a little bit, he's got to catch it up front and then bring the tag back. Why not just straddle second base and apply the tag?
This will be his 60th pitch to 1-1. Count 2-1. You know, we mentioned cavalierly he averages 20 pitches an inning, but you know, in effect what that means is that you're a 5-inning starter. And that's going to wear out your bullpen. If you're a 5-inning starter, that means you have to get 12 outs out of your bullpen every time you start. Because they're not going to let you go that much more than 100 pitches. Now with the Rangers and the orders from Nolan Ryan, you know, push him a little bit. All right, well, are you going to push him to 6 innings? But 20 pitches an inning is just too much. Two-two. Check swing and a roller foul down the third baseline.
Yeah, Harden likes throwing this pitch to try to freeze the left-handers for strike 3. He's done it to Nick Johnson twice, Jorge Posada once. Fastball on the inner half, and watch it kind of move back to the plate. Curtis does a good job just blocking it off the other way. Fortunately for him, it went into foul territory.
Now, proof positive of Harden working 20 pitches an inning. Last year, he threw 141 innings in 26 starts. That's a little over 5 1/3 innings per start. I mean, you can't be a number 1 or a 2 starter with that kind of output.
He was a 500 pitcher last year. We showed the strikeout totals. Strikeouts per 9, which led all of baseball.
And another walk. If he's the type of pitcher that's not going to give in, he's facing the wrong team. Because this team's not going to give in either. And Mike Maddox, the pitching coach, will go out and talk with Harden with the bases loaded for the Yankees again. That'll bring up Nick Swisher with the bases loaded. Hey, there's a shot of the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar. Situated in center field in Yankee Stadium, the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar is a great place to gather and enjoy the game. Mohegan Sun, a world at play. It serves as a restaurant and a batter's eye.
Multitasking. See what Nick Swisher does here. He swung at a first pitch fastball his first at bat and popped up to left field. Great RBI situation with 1 out, bases loaded. See if he stays with that aggressive approach.
Strike. Now with the bases loaded, Harden becomes a different pitcher. Opponents are 8 for 43 against him lifetime. That's 186 in these spots. The 0-1. If it's fair, it's a grand slam, but it's foul.
He got that fastball he was looking for, and it's out over the plate. You can see the reaction of Nick. He knew it. Got a pitch to drive and was just a little bit too quick. Now you're kicking yourself, Michael. I had a pitch to do some damage. Now I'm 0-2. I really got to battle and just try to put this ball in play. Not easy against a strikeout pitcher.
And he strikes him out.
Yeah, you walk back to the dugout thinking about strike 2, not strike 3, because strike 2 is the one you really had to do something with. This is a fastball up right by him. Saying a major league at bat, you're going to get one pitch to lean on, and Nick got it. He was just a little bit too quick. And this was it. That's the pitch you start thinking back. I really could have had a nice day with one swing.
Here's Pena. You saw the anguish on Swisher's face, and people don't realize at bat to at bat, I mean, it eats away at a player. I mean, you get 4 of those, they're like gold each game, and you miss your chance on one of them, and he's still beating himself up.
Listening to Paul O'Neill one night and talked about how valuable those at bats were, and I never had that appreciation because I had the time behind the plate to catch.
Line drive, a base hit on the bat of Pena. 2 runs will score. Granderson goes to third. So Pena, in a rare start, picks up a 2-run single to give the Yankees a 4-2 lead.
Pena came into the end of yesterday's ball game, and we mentioned every time he plays, he seems to do something positive to help you win. It's a fastball, doesn't hit it that hard. Hits a nice line drive, a 2-out, 2 RBI base hit from your backup infielder. That is a bonus. Keeps his hands inside and just drives it to right field.
In his career now with the bases loaded, Ramiro Pena now hitting .800, 4 for 5.
Yeah, really pulled those hands inside. Like Rich Harden, I mean, you talk about a scouting report going through a lineup, and you really would not be concerned about the number 9 hitter Ramiro Pena. Ends up beating you for a 2-out, 2 RBI base hit. Michael, that was probably the best advice I got from Reggie Jackson when I was here with the Yankees. So, you know, if you're a backup guy on this team, nobody's going to prepare for you offensively. Go up there and try to do some damage and kind of get them before they even realize what happened. They're going to be worried about Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada. If you're a backup guy, you can go up there. They're going to let down a little bit, and you really can take advantage.
That is pretty good advice. Because when Harden was looking over that lineup before the game, I'm sure he didn't put much thought into Ramiro Pena.
He might be the one player on his mind after this ball game. We'll see how it plays out. It could be a huge 2-out, 2 RBI base hit.
72 pitches for Harden total, 34 this inning. One, two. Still 1-2. Hey, Gene Monahan back at the ballpark today. There's Gino, the Red Hood.
Great to see him today. Great to see him at opening day.
There's a ground ball to second, and Blanco makes the play, and that'll do it. But the Yankees retake the lead. They score 3 runs, and it all started with one swing by Mark Teixeira, trying to battle his way out of a slump. He battles a home run into the stands, and the Yankees are up 4-2.
This season, come to YesNetwork.com for championship coverage from a championship website. Jack Curry joins Yes to give you exclusive insight.
Yankees are leading 4-2, and Nelson Cruz will lead off against Andy Pettitte. And a strike. Count 0-1.
See if Andy can find that rhythm. It's been a struggle here for through the first 3 innings. Has not looked comfortable. Yankees have given him a lead 4-2. We'll see if he can find his stride in the middle of this ball game.
The 0-2. 1-2. And Pettit deals.
You can see body language with Andy even after that curveball he just threw. He kind of looks away, a little sense of frustration. Everything's been easy so far in his 2 starts. He's had location, he's had his good stuff. Today it's going to be a little battle. It's some work for him out there today.
Lofted to right field. Nick Swisher drifts back. 1 away. Time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz, and here is the question. Who are the 3 players to have at least 100 home runs with 3 different teams? What if one of them's on one of the teams today?
You'd have to think there would be some sort of a connection.
Don't want to think too deeply, though. Here's Ryan Garco. One and 0. Garco so far this year 0 for 9. Andy Pettit has been so consistent in his career. In day games, he has a 3.90 ERA. In night games, he has a 3.89 ERA. But last year, there was definitely a lopsided trend. In day games, he had a 5.73 ERA, and in night games, he had a 3.54. So, go figure that.
I think the greatest thing you can say about Andy is you know what you're going to get from him every time he takes the mound. By that I mean if he has good stuff, obviously he's going to have a good game. But even a day like today where it looks like he's laboring a little bit, doesn't have good action, not really locating well, he's going to find a way to give you, a quality outing.
Garco works a walk. All of his postseason games last year were at night, and boy was he great in the postseason. 4-0. He was the winning pitcher in every single one of the clinching games. 3.52 ERA, 26 innings and just under 26 hits and just under 31 innings. And the postseason was so good, he really had to battle the urge to call it quits after that. He said it was almost storybook. How could you walk away from that? But now he's kind of in that tough situation. Before he wanted to retire so he could spend time with the family. Now his sons are at an age where they think it's really cool that their dad's a pitcher for the Yankees, so they want him to pitch more. So he's kind of battling both of those as well. Popped up. Alex Rodriguez makes the play.
Michael, I was shocked that Andy Pettit came back this year, to tell you the truth. I mean, he wanted to pitch in the new stadium, which he did, won another world championship. I kind of looked at it like, you know what, it's probably time. What more can you do? When you get to the point that Andy has gotten to, the family plays such a huge factor in whether they want you to continue.
He's tied with Charlie Buffington for 59th place, and he's 6 away from Whitey Ford. Whitey's a big fan of Andy Pettit's. Has been for a long time. Now, if Andy had stayed with the Yankees the 3 years that he went with the Astros, he'd be closing in on the Yankees all-time win list. But several of those 230 were with the Houston Astros. 193 wins as a Yankee. So 37 with Houston. Ground ball. Oh, nice play by Teixeira. He goes to the bag, and that'll do it. He took a base hit away from Matt Trainer. Teixeira with a home run today and 2 sparkling defensive plays. This one will end the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 3.5 here at the stadium, and the Yankees lead this one 4-2 on Yes.
Stop smoking now, and in 24 hours, your chance of a heart attack drops. In 3 weeks, your lung function improves, and in 1 year, your risk of heart disease is cut in half. Call for free help. The New York State Smokers Quit Line, 1-866-NY-QUITS.
Mark, we have teams on both coasts that are interested, but Milos only wants to play for Dallas. Milos really wants to play for Brussels. Milos only wants to play for Shanghai. Buenos Aires. Frankfurt.
Milos really wants to play for Rome.
How's your Japanese?
We know why you fly. We're American Airlines. Fly American to Beijing, nonstop from Chicago.
Okay, Pixels. IOTV brings people every HD game of the Knicks, Rangers, Nets,
Islanders, Devils, Mets,
Yankees, Giants, and Jets.
So, can we all agree not to play favorites?
I suppose.
Right, sure.
I guess so.
Great. Let's shake on it.
All right, let's do it.
Yes!
No one delivers more New York sports in HD. IOTV brings you an extraordinary HD experience free.
Conventional automotive frames absorb energy, but this one does more. It collapses in some areas while staying rigid in others to help redirect energy around the cabin and away from you. The ACE body structure in the Acura MDX. The most innovative thinking you'll find in an Acura.
Time for the answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz. Who are the 3 players to have at least 100 home runs with 3 different teams? And after this pitch to Nick Johnson, we will give you the answer. There's a strike, and here's the answer. I'd say Alex has to be one of them. And he is, and Darrell Evans and Reggie Jackson. Strike. Tanyan Sturge, former Yankee. Sitting in the stands as a fan.
My favorite teammates right there, Michael.
Really?
Played with Tanyan in Tampa Bay when he was a starter, and then he came over here to New York and did a great job out of the bullpen. He'll give you everything he had out there.
That is a huge statement coming from you because you really don't like many people.
It's true. That's one of the good guys right there. Like
Strong words.
From a teammate's perspective, you knew he was going to come out and give you everything he had. I can't say that about you. There are sometimes you hold back up here.
Wow. I think somebody texted him that you're talking about him.
Well, he actually sent me a text early on. There he is.
That's beautiful.
The favorite teammates right there, Sturtsy.
That one's driven. Foul. I have, other than your wife and 3 kids, I've never heard you speak that glowingly about anything or anybody.
Really? That's not true at all.
That glowingly? He's leaving. He said, I can't beat it now.
Got good seats down there, too.
Very good seats. And Nick Johnson works a walk.
He's got to watch the game a little bit more, though. Those are dangerous seats with a foul ball.
Wow, somebody is texting him word for word what you're saying. Speaking of text, here's Mark Teixeira. Home run his last time up. First time up, he was hit by a pitch. "60 games you caught Tanyan Sturge, and he had a 4.01 ERA with you."
It's not bad.
Tanyan threw more to you than any catcher by far. 265 innings.
Wow.
Grounded to second. There's one, and there's two.
You know what really helped Tanyan Sturtz? He came over from the Chicago White Sox to the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at the time as a starting pitcher. And Roberto Hernandez really helped him with his mechanics, and he kind of had him to hide the baseball a little bit more. And from there, his career took off. Did a nice job with the Yankees bullpen. Went from a middle reliever in that bullpen to a setup guy for Mariano Rivera.
There were some that might say he was overused here, and that led to him hurting his arm. They really used him a lot because he was so effective.
But that goes back to one of the favorite teammate parts, because he would take the ball no matter how he was feeling, would never complain. I talked about Javi Vasquez kind of the same way in 04 when he struggled a little bit the second half. He took the baseball every fifth day and gave you whatever he had. Tanyan, the same type of deal.
One day when we're no longer teammates, I hope you speak of me like this.
Glowing terms.
Really?
Yeah. You're like that veteran player that takes the rookie under his wing early on, you know, shows you the ropes.
Right.
I can only hope I can impart some of that wisdom on some broadcasters who follow us.
The 2-2. Still 2-2. I hope that too. I hope that too, John. Look at Tanyan eating behind you. The 2-2. Hot shot up the middle, a base hit for Alex Rodriguez. He's 1 for 1 with 2 walks. Been on base all 3 times.
Good sign there for Alex Rodriguez where that pitch was. The location was up and in. Usually a spot where he will struggle a little bit. Up and in. Boy, he just takes care of it. That is a tough pitch to get on top of. Good sign for Alex Rodriguez. He might have a big road trip if he keeps this swing going.
.90 pitches for Harden. And they're going to get the bullpen up. .53 strikes, 37 balls. Not terrible. Yankees are fouling away a lot of pitches, too. Here's Cano. Count 1-0. Rangers signed Harden on December 10th of '09. 28 years old, has a world of talent. They're just trying to harness it. They have a top flight pitching coach in Mike Maddox. Harden did not do a great job in spring training, though. 3 or 6 spring training starts, 1-3 with an 8.87 ERA. Trainer tries to settle him down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Count 3-0. Looks like they're right on the lip of taking him out. You can't get any closer to walking on the field. And that might do it. So Cano walks, and so does Ron Washington out to the mound. Let's see if he signaled. All right, he has signaled, and that's going to do it for Harden, who gives them just 3 2/3.
The 2009 New York Yankees are world champions.
Make plans for the 2010 season and host your group in a Yankee Stadium suite. Suites are perfect for entertaining family, friends, and business associates. Sizes range from 12 to 74 guests, and all suites feature all-inclusive food and non-alcoholic beverage packages. For more information, call 646-977-8900 or visit yankees.com/suites.
With the new Geico Glove Box app, you can get help with a flat tire Find a nearby tow truck or gas station. Call emergency services. Collect accident information. Or just watch some fun videos. It's so easy, a caveman can do it.
Unbelievable. Where's my coat? It was suede with the fringe.
Download the Glovebox app free at geico.com.
Performance. Is it speed, power, or is it something more comprehensive? The Lexus GS350 outperforms the European competition in not only horsepower, but also in powertrain warranty and 0 to 60 time. So if you're considering a performance car, you may instead want to consider an outperformance car. Now for a limited time, lease the 2010 GS350 all-wheel drive for $499 a month for 36 months with $41.98 due at signing. See your Lexus dealer.
Yankees baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Acura, Acura Advance, and by Avis, the official rental car company of the New York Yankees. Well, the Yankees, with 2 runners on and 2 outs in the 4th inning, have knocked out Rich Harden. And Ron Washington makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T, a better 3G experience. And that call to the bullpen will bring in Dustin Nippert. And he's going to face Jorge Posada with runners on 1st and 2nd, and Harden becomes a spectator. Now the runs there, 4 runs, that's not complete yet. The 2 runners on base are his responsibility, but the 6 walks, that will haunt you. 3 starters in this series for the Texas Rangers have given the Rangers a total of 12 innings. They've thrown 266 pitches. That's what Nippert has done so far this year. The Yankees looking to build on that 4-2 lead. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Texas started this series. The team ERA was the best in the American League at 2.67. And after the first 2 games, it climbed to 3.22, which dropped it to 3rd. And now, depending on what happens here, it's going to go even higher. C.J. Wilson sitting next to Harden. And a strike.
Good changeup from Nippert. I mean, a big, tall right-hander throws right over the top. Usually you get a good look with that, maybe a lower arm angle. It looks like he throws right out of his hat. Big curveball, good changeup. Take a look at the delivery, a little short arm right behind his right ear. Be tough to pick the ball up. He likes his changeup. We'll see if he goes with it here in a fastball count, 2-1.
Runner goes from 3rd. The throw is not in time. Stolen base for Alex Rodriguez, and Cano moves to 2nd. He stole a base and the pitcher never threw the ball.
Nippert throws to Michael Young. I don't know what happened here. Again, Michael Young taking the tag in front of 3rd base, and then he tries to reach around. Nippert does the right thing, step off right to the 3rd baseman. Why does he take the throw that far in front of 3rd base? Alex Rodriguez takes advantage. Why not just go to the bag, straddle the bag, and apply the tag? It looked like a good throw.
Alex slid to the outfield side of 3rd, and that's how he got in. So 2nd and 3rd now. The 2-1. Strike, 2-2. And that is ruled a double steal. And you see that Young reaches but doesn't make the tag. And Alex actually slid by without touching the bag, but he grabbed it with his left hand and somehow held on.
Again, Michael, the whole series, maybe not some plays that were ruled errors, but sloppy defensive play.
Driven into left field. Going back, Murphy, he's there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2-man left on base. 4 full at the stadium. Yankees are leading the Rangers 4-2 on Yes.
He has adventures, and I have mine. His are on 2 wheels, but mine are on 4. It's true. Like father, like son. And with my Jeep Grand Cherokee, no matter what our adventures, we always come home in style.
During Auto Show bonus days, get 0% APR financing.
Seventh inning, Andy Pettitte has really turned it on and become dominant over the last 3 innings, and he's done it with very few pitches, and there's a good chance he could come out and pitch the 8th inning if need be. There's nobody warming in the Yankee bullpen right now. So in the bottom of the 7th inning, it'll be Posada, Granderson, and Swisher against Nippert to try to give him more runs. Posada is 1 for 3 today. And the breaking ball is high. On the Verizon Wireless scoreboard, Yankees lead 4-2. Inside. Rich Harden started, couldn't get out of the 4th inning, just 2 outs in the 4th. So 3 2/3 for him. This is Nippert's 3rd full inning.
You know, the way Andy Pettitte is pitching the second half of this ball game, it almost feels like the Yankees are leading more than 4-2. Still obviously a close game, but feel around this ball game, Texas doesn't have a whole lot of fight left in them. Andy Pettitte has found his good groove, and then you start thinking about Mariano Rivera in that bullpen.
Darren Oliver warming. (3-1). Fouled away.
Well, Nippert's been impressive in this ball game in relief. Talked about his changeup earlier. It looks like he's got good action on that fastball. Jorge Posada late on a 3-1 fastball.
Driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. Home run, Posada. Yankees up 5-2. A bullet into the short porch and right.
Third home run of the year gives the Yankees a little breathing room. Talked about Jorge a little late on the 3-1 fastball, and that fastball was up in the zone. But on a full count, he got a fastball that was down. A lot easier for Jorge Posada. Just dropped the bat head and line drive for his 3rd home run of the year.
Trainer goes out to talk with Nippert. Nippert's first mistake. Posada's gotten off to a great start.
Talked about the 3rd home run of the year. He's done a great job with Andy Pettitte behind the plate, straightening him out. Adds on another run.
Well, that trip to the mound was simply a stall tactic to get Oliver ready to face the lefty swinging Granderson. Oliver's the only left-hander in the bullpen for the Texas Rangers. So Washington takes the ball from Nippert, and it'll be Oliver or Granderson when we get back. New York Yankees. Darren Oliver, the veteran left-hander, will come on for the Rangers to try to stop it right here. Yankees are leading 5-2 in the way Pettitte's pitching, and you've got Rivera lurking in the bullpen for the 9th inning. If you're the Rangers, you know you have any chance, you better keep it at 5-2.
First game of the series that Darren Oliver will work. The only lefty in the bullpen for the Rangers, and actually lefties hit better off of him last year, 263 as opposed to the righties, 217 average.
Here's Curtis Granderson. He walked the first 2 times up and then struck out looking in the 5th. The 0-1. Waves at that one, count 0-2. Hitting .267 against lefties so far this year, .357 against righties. 4 for 15 is .267. The 1-2, swing and a miss, got him.
Good sliders from Oliver. Always has a decent fastball and a nice slider.
Let's take a look at the pitch by pitch of that at bat, brought to you by Suzuki Kazashi.
It's a pitch by pitch. First pitch, a little cutter, and then he goes to the slider, a bigger break. Check swing, 3 in a row. This is the last one that finishes Curtis Granderson off.
And now here's the switch hitter, Nick Swisher, moving to the right side. Swisher is 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts. And that one's driven to left center field, giving chase is Hamilton. And he makes the play, almost overran the ball for the second out.
Nick Swisher twice in this ball game went up to the plate hacking at the first pitch he got. He hit this one hard right to Josh Hamilton, almost overran it like you said, Michael. Can't remember the last time we've seen Nick go up there 2 at bats in a ball game, swinging first pitch. Hit that ball hard.
And here's Romero Pena, also a switch hitter, batting from the right side. You can see that Swisher is struggling, John, because he's had 4 at-bats today. And in those at-bats, he's seen just 8 pitches. That's not Nick, so he's looking to get a hit, and he's jumping on pitches early rather than working the count.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with swinging at the first pitch. If you hit a ball like Nick just did to Hamilton in center field, hit it hard, had a good swing. He had no problem with that. The first at bat of the ball game, he had a fastball and he popped up. But it's just uncharacteristic that we don't see him go deep into some counts.
Pena got a big hit in the 3rd inning. That gave the Yankees the 4-2 lead. Right in on the hands, and he just muscled it over Garco for a 2-run single.
Greatest part of that at bat and that hit was that it was a 2-out, 2 RBI base hit. The number 9 hitter in the Yankee lineup, giving Derek Jeter a day off to get healthy.
If you just tuned in, Derek sitting out today with a head cold. The 1-2, strike 3, impressive by Darren Oliver. He strikes out Granderson. He gets Swisher to fly to left center, and then he strikes out Pena. But the Yankees got something done this inning. They got an insurance run. Jorge Posada with a solo shot, his 3rd home of the year. The Yankees start their West Coast trip against the A's in Oakland. Coverage starts at 9:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Ken Singleton and John Flaherty bring you the call. Yankees and the A's, Tuesday at 9:30, and it's only on Yes. I'm going to be watching those games. Can't wait. Andy Pettitte, look at the last 2 innings, a total of 15 pitches that he's thrown, and he's gotten 6 outs on 15 pitches. 5th inning is not too bad either with 11. And even when he was struggling, he never got to 20 pitches per inning. So Yankees looking to get a solid outing out of him, 8 inning possibly, or 8 innings if he can get it done. And David Robertson taking some to the mitt. And we have a pinch hitter. It's Joaquin Arias for Andres Blanco. And there's a strike.
We've seen Arias' first couple of games in this series. Been impressive. Gone off to a nice start. 419. 13 hits already. Talked about Ian Kinsler on the disabled list for the Rangers. Usually their starting second baseman.
A little strange they sat Arias today. He had a 7-game hitting streak. That one's grounded to short. Pena. One away. Today and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're asking you to vote along with us for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates are number 1, Brett Gardner, number 2, Ramiro Pena, number 3, Andy Pettitte, and number 4, Mark Teixeira. You can vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates certainly do apply. Here's Elvis Andrus. Pitch outside, 1-0. Now 2-0. Andy at 96 pitches. No, I asked Joe today, why did you have Burnett come out and pitch the 7th inning when he was at 99 pitches? He said, we got to stretch him out, and he was pitching well. Why not stretch him out at that point? You got to build up their pitch count. He said that's the next logical step, so I had no problem doing that.
Well, he took on the challenge too, because it was almost like he smelled the finish line and really had a great finish to that ball game.
(5-2) Yankees lead, looking for the sweep. And a count 3-1. Andy last completed 8 innings of a game on August 31st of last year against Baltimore at Baltimore. (3-1). And he walks Andrus.
Didn't miss by much. Home plate umpire Mike DeMoro, 2 pitches back to back that were pretty close. Andy Pettitte did not get the calls. Take a look at the last one. Borderline low, could go either way. Or Posada tried to sell it, didn't get the call.
There's Michael Young chasing Andrus back.
Usually you see a pitcher who's been in such a good groove like Andy Pettitte pounding the strike zone. Usually the home plate umpire will give him the benefit of the doubt on some close calls.
The walk to Andrus snaps a string of 12 straight retired by Pettitte. Count 1-0.
.62 strikes, 38 balls.
Andy working himself into trouble now. Remember, 5-2, and John mentioned this earlier, the way Andy's pitching, and Dave Island will quickly go out and talk with him. The way he's pitching, John, it seems like the Yankees are up 10-2. But if you lose Young, all of a sudden you've got Hamilton, Guerrero, and Cruz, all who could tie the game with one swing. So this game is no way, shape, or form put away yet.
Yeah, and this is the first sign of trouble we have seen from Andy in a long time in this ball game. Walking Andrus, Vladimir Guerrero, you always know where he is if you're the Yankees. Chance to do some damage.
Well, Robertson is ready. Under the watchful eye of the bullpen coach, Mike Harkey. The 2-0. He threw a strike. A crowd here at the stadium of 44,121. Looking for Pettitte to get through this inning. The 2-1. 2-2. Well, whatever Island said settled him down.
Yeah, good visit to the mound by Dave Island. Fastball powered in there for a strike, followed up by a curveball. You know, Andy hasn't pitched out of the stretch since the 4th inning, so maybe a little bit of an adjustment.
2-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Came back from 2-0 down to strike him out for the second out of the inning.
You see Jorge Posada setting up outside. It's like a backdoor cutter. Michael Young just waves. It looks like it's a ball, and then, uh-oh, I got to try to put this ball in play, and he can't do it. Outstanding location. A nice comeback at bat for Andy Pettitte.
Here's Josh Hamilton. And there's a strike. So throwing nothing but strikes since Island came to the mound. 105 pitches for Pettitte. Guerrero waits on deck. That trademark stare, the cap pulled down over the eyes, glove in front of the mouth. Count 1-1.
That's what we saw from Andy Pettitte early in the ball game. A lot of fastballs up in the zone. A bit too quick coming down the hill. Jorge Posada, you got to slow him down a little bit here.
Popped up. Posada is there coming on as A-Rod. A-Rod makes the call and the catch. Pettitte, 8 complete innings. And the Yankees are leading 5-2. Quite a performance by the veteran left-hander trying to go 2-0, and the Yankees are trying to sweep this series. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Andy Pettitte's day is likely done as the Yankees lead 5-2. He pitches 8 full. Brett Gardner leads off against Darren Oliver, who drops a breaking ball in there for a strike. Gardner has reached base 3 times today. Hit by a pitch, stole a base, scored a run. Single to center, grounded to second, and then walked and stole a base. Mariano Rivera getting ready. You know, you look at the Yankees and there are veterans on their staff, but I don't think that we really give enough due to Dave Island, who really does a nice job shepherding this staff together and making them work. And over the last couple of years, kind of building a bullpen from the beginning of the season to the end, and you know, actually ushering 3 starters, and that goes under the glove of Arias. That'll be an E4. 3 starters through a playoff, so we should give Island some credit. He's done a good job as the pitching coach.
Well, he really has. You see Arias coming in, does not get his glove down, and they're going to give Brett Gardner a base hit.
Come on.
Now, obviously, speed is a factor here. If he comes up, he's going to have a tough little flip throw. The official score off the lip. That ball stays down. Generous call.
I'm not trying to take a base hit away from Brett Gardner. I mean, but this is the big leagues. Ron Washington said that after Friday's game. A couple of balls were scored hits. And, I mean, that's a big league play. It's not even that tough a play, I would think. That's a shocker. I had E4, and I don't even have whiteout today. Come on.
Now, if Nick Johnson hits that same ground ball.
Right.
Is it a hit or an error? No doubt it's an error.
But here's my point, John. If he fields the ball cleanly, he's still going to get Gardner. He has to rush it, but he's still going to get him. Who's the official scorer today? Jordan Spreckman, who I like, a good guy. I'm going to talk to Jordan.
He's a good guy who just made a bad call.
It happens to me all the time.
The bad call part or the good guy part?
Both. 1-1. 1-2.
Well, getting back to Dave Island, your point about what a good job he's doing. I don't know exactly what year it was, but the Yankees made a great decision that they brought Dave up for a September call-up, kind of like a player will get a September call-up. He got a call-up as a pitching coach for September, and he told me that month really taught him that he would be a good major league pitching coach.
Strike three. Boy, Oliver has been really strong against the left-handers. Nick Johnson is 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts.
We expect a breaking ball from left on left. Oliver goes with the fastball in the inner half, and again, Nick Johnson frozen. He's had trouble with that fastball in all day.
Derek Jeter sitting this one out with a little bit of a head cold.
I talked about Dave in that September call-up, Dave Island, and he said the biggest thing that he learned was he would be able to work with veteran pitchers. He had a great relationship with Mike Mussina that September, and he said that was the one obstacle that he had to get out of his head, that he was going to be able to deal with the really successful veteran.
Picked off, but do they get him? Yes, they do. So a good move by Oliver, and that erases that somewhat sketchy base hit. So you score that 1-3-6.
Oliver, the good throw over, and Brett Gardner just going first move, not able to outrun the throw from Garco.
Now I'm curious, John, the base hit by Gardner, right? Is that considered an infield hit? Because it rolled to the outfield, though.
I think it would have to be an infield hit.
I don't think that could be an infield hit. We'll have to ask Jordan. Count 3-1. Ground ball in the hole, backhanded by Andrus. The long throw, and they get to Shera for the final out of the 8th inning. No runs a hit, and nobody left. They'll have to do it against Mariano Rivera if they're going to come back in the 9th. Go RV by Hager, established 1926. Your own great moment starts at Hager.com. And by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV. A gutsy 8-inning performance by Andy Pettitte. Didn't have good stuff early, battled through, got himself 8 solid innings, and now turns it over to a guy he's turned it over to plenty of times, Mariano Rivera. Mark Teixeira with a home run today. One of the 5 Yankee runs. Jorge Posada hit one as well. Now it's time for Rivera to try to pick up his 5th save of the year. It'll be the 5th save out of 9 Yankee wins. And he'll face Guerrero, Cruz, and Garco. 5-2 Yankees lead. Looking for the sweep.
Guerrero, good numbers against Mariano. 3 for 7 in his career.
Strike. Guerrero today grounded to short, popped to first, and lined out to Cano at second. Right in on the hands and fouled away.
Great pitch, threw a couple of cutters on the outer half and then ran one in on the hands. What's this swing? Just fight it off. Love to see Mariano go up in the zone here to Guerrero, see if he could chase a high fastball.
The 1-2. Punches it out to right field. And Swisher puts it away for the first out. Let's take a look now at the Land Rover drive of the game.
Well, it was the bottom of the third inning. Your Land Rover drive of the game. Mark Teixeira, home run number 1. He's had a slow start this year, but he finally hits his first home run, which is your Land Rover drive of the game.
Teixeira still looking for his swing, but that goes a little bit toward helping him. And here's Nelson Cruz. Count 1-0. 5 runs on 7 hits for the Yankees, 2 runs on 4 hits for the Rangers. Now the Yankees have gone 9 games without an error, and that's the longest streak in the majors this season and the longest in franchise history during the month of April. So they're 2 outs away from going 10 straight without an error. Now last season, the Yankees set a major league record with 18 consecutive errorless games from May 14th through June 1st. So you have good pitching, you need good defense, and the Yankees certainly played good defense last year and so far this year.
Then you throw on top of that some timely hitting. Mark Teixeira hits a home run. Ramiro Pena, big 2-out, 2 RBI base hit.
Goes up the ladder, and Cruz goes up with him, 2-2. And the pitch. Strike 3. Cruz down looking. Right on the inside corner. 1 more out to go, and after that out of this game against the Rangers, Bob Lorenz and Kimberly Jones will bring you the WB Mason postgame. Bob's back in the studio to bring you the highlights and analysis, and Kimberly is in the clubhouse for the postgame reaction. It's the WB Mason postgame, and it's only on Yes. Chris Davis is pinch hitting for Ryan Garco, and the first pitch is a strike. Rangers 1 out away from being swept here in the Bronx. And the count 1-1.
Sorry, Michael. Tough at bat for Davis. You're sitting on the bench all day, and then you got to come in and try to face Mariano Rivera. Keep this ball game going.
1-1. Was that nasty cutter. 1-2.
Down and in, off the plate. You got options now. You can go up and in, tie him up. You go down and in, off the plate again.
He foul tipped the ball to stay alive.
Tried to go with the down and in cutter again, and Davis does a good job just fouling it off his back foot.
Kid thought it was strike 3, but he's got to suffer through 1 more pitch. The 1-2. Strike 3. Ball game over, and the Yankees win 5-2. 50 straight saves at home for Mariano Rivera. And since the All-Star break last year, the Yankees are now 43-10 at home, including the postseason. They have turned this new ballpark into a definite home field advantage.
A couple of cutters on the inner half, and then Mariano and Jorge decide to go on the outside corner. Strike 3. A 3-game sweep for the New York Yankees.
5-2, the Yankees win, and the organization dedicating this game to longtime employee Harvey Winston, who passed away at too early of an age of 49 on January 6th. 22 years with the Yankees. His World Series ring was given to his family before the game, and on the scoreboard right now, they tell the world that this game was for Harvey. So the Yankees on this first homestand of the season, they go 5-1, and what a beginning to their season. They are 9-3. Good start. They've taken all 4 of their series. In front of the Yankee dugout is Kimberly Jones with Mark Teixeira. Kim?
You said it, Michael. Mark, winning all 4 of your first series of the year, this one by sweep, all against good teams. Why is this team playing so well?
It starts with pitching, and it ends with pitching. As you saw Mo in the 9th there, he was awesome again. And when we get starting pitching the way we have the first 2 weeks of the season, we're tough to beat.
First home run of the year. What's going through your mind as that ball's taking flight?
I knew I hit it well, so that was a good feeling. Good to get one at home here, and put us on the board for the game. So it was it was a good homer for me.
I asked Alex the same question yesterday. Did it feel like it had been a while?
I mean, it always does. I want to hit a home run every single game. That's just the competitive side of me. But it's still early, long way to go.
It is early. 10 games in a row, though, now without an error for this team. You had some couple of great defensive plays. How much pride do you take in the defense, no matter what's going on at the plate?
Yeah, defense is huge. And like I said, when we pitch and we play defense the way we have, it's a good combination. It gives our pitchers confidence that they can just throw the ball around the plate and let us do our job.
Which of those plays was tougher? You got up on one and got way down on the other?
Probably the one that was jumping. The ball, I lost it a little bit in the sign back there, and some of those line drives during day games are scary, but it found my glove.
It usually does. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thanks, Kim.
Michael?
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Kimberly. You got to stick around for the post-game show to find out who's today's Chevy Player of the Game. Could be Mark Teixeira, could be Andy Pettitte, any number of choices. Teixeira finally hits his first home run of the year. Yankees sweep the Rangers. A lot of things to digest. We'll try to do it. We'll come back and make sense of it all post-game after that. On the Acela scoreboard, Yankees lead Texas 4-2. How about the start the Red Sox have gotten off to? 4-7 and losing today, and they're in 4th place in the East. They're already 4 games behind the Yankees and the Rays. So Andy Pettitte has a 4-2 lead, and he deals low to Andres Blanco. But nobody has gotten off to a worse start in all of Major League Baseball than the Baltimore Orioles at 1-11. And they're an improved team than the one that they had last year. And people were expecting them to be at least 500 and felt that they had to make improvement in the victory column or Dave Tremblay might not be there.
A bunch of good young players ready to turn into stars. Adam Jones, a center fielder. Wieters, a catcher.
Markakis, Roberts now on the DL, and Nolan Reimold. They've got some hitters, and they thought that with the addition of Kevin Millwood, who was traded from the Texas Rangers, that would kind of lead a very young rotation. But boy, it has not translated with a 1-11 record. Grounded out to second. Cano to Teixeira. 1 away.
Andy Pettitte in pretty good shape pitch count wise, 69 with 1 out in the 5th. Be one of those games Andy would probably be pretty proud of if it works out in his favor, because he's had to work hard early in this ball game. If you get 34 starts in a year, you're going to have starts like this where it's not going to come easy. Got to find a way to make some adjustments during the ball game. 43 strikes, 27 balls.
I always used to wonder if he was telling me the truth, but Roger Clemens used to say, hey, it's fun when you're out there and you got all your stuff and you're dominating. He said, but I enjoy the games where I have to grind it out and get people out and still get a win. Those are the games that are fun.
Those are the difference makers in having a bad year or a mediocre year or a great year. And you know, your buddy Mike Mussina would always talk about that, those 10 starts where you had nothing and you had to find a way to get through it. You work 5 innings, keep your ball club in the ball game. That's when you're going to have a big year, because the 10 times where you have great stuff, you figure you're going to win a bunch of those games.
Two. Strike 3. Andrus down looking. Let's check back in with the Yes Studios' Bob Lorenz.
Well, Michael, the Angels and Blue Jays were scoreless in Toronto until the top of the sixth. Hideki Matsui getting one out into left center. It's going to one-hop the wall and score Eric Ibar. So far, that's the only run of the game. Angels leading that one over Toronto 1-0, top of the eighth.
Here's Michael Young. And a strike.
Well, we talked about a pitcher who doesn't have good stuff and finds a way. These are the games a catcher really feels important too. A guy like Jorge Posada, maybe some in-game adjustments for Andy Pettitte, because it looks like he's found a little something here the fourth and fifth inning.
High fly ball, center field. And a nice easy inning for Andy Pettitte as he retires the Rangers in order 1, 2, 3. The end of 4.5, we're halfway through. Yankees 4, Rangers 2.
Hey, buddy, what are those?
Your zeros.
What are they for?
They're for the thing. Really big thing?
Oh, right. The big thing. Where am I going to put them?
You could put them in front.
For the first time ever, lease a Honda Accord for 0 down payment and 0 due at signing.
It's called the really big thing, only at your Honda dealer.
I thought if you had an older home, there was no way you could reduce your energy costs.
Boy, was I wrong.
We had our house performance tested by a contractor certified by the Building Performance Institute.
We found a host of problems that could be corrected.
They showed us what it would cost
And how much we'd save this year.
and for years to come. We've reduced our energy use 45 to 50%.
And it's good for the environment.
How can you beat that?
For more true stories of how New Yorkers are saving energy, log on to getenergysmart.org.
The Cadillac Laurel sales event, featuring the acclaimed CTS sports sedan, a car and driver 10 best for the third year in a row, with a direct injection V6 engine. See your Cadillac dealer soon, because while there is no expiration date on achievement, on rewarding it, there is.
Qualified current lessees, visit CadillacTristate.com.
Hi, I'm PC, your predictably correct morning radio guy.
He's not PC, he's Imus.
I have guests like Beyonce. Who do you get?
Senators, presidents, network anchors, authors, rock stars.
But we do our chopper traffic updates and tell people how to dress for the weather.
Yeah, we do updates, but we let listeners wear what they want.
Imus on 77 WABC.
Curtis Granderson will lead off the bottom of the fifth inning. And Nippert works a strike. Granderson has walked twice. A Cell Express scoreboard, 4-2. Yankees lead. How about this about patience, John? In 12 games, the opposing starters of the Yankees have gone more than 6 innings just twice. That was Price and Pinheiro. The opposing starters have thrown just 63 1/3 innings pitched in the 12 games, just under 5 1/3 innings per start. So Granderson down on strikes. Time for another look at today's Toyota text poll. Once again, the question was, if the game you were attending went 20 innings, would you stay for the whole game? You've been texting us at 58772. Mets-Cardinals game last night went 20 innings. 87% say yes. Now, I'll tell you what, John, I watched the end of that game. 87% of the crowd was not there.
Well, it was the 20-year-old crowd that you said was texting in, right?
Yep. I would think so.
It wasn't the 42-year-old parents of 3 kids, that's for sure. Nice win for the Mets. Maybe we'll see if that'll get them going a little bit.
There were so many parts of that game that could be second-guessed, from La Russa to Manuel, that you're scratching your head. They had the bases loaded twice in extra innings, the Cardinals. Once with 2 outs, once with 1. And here's some of the nuggets from that game. And both of those times, La Russa did not pinch hit for his pitcher, because if there was another inning, he wanted to keep the pitcher in. As Swisher goes down on strikes, which was odd. Both times the pitcher made out. Longest game since 08. Time of the game, 6:53. 46 players used, 19 pitchers. The game was scoreless until the 19th. That's the longest scoreless game in baseball since '89. Mets' longest game since '74. The losing pitcher, Joe Mather, and Mike Pelfrey, his first career save. I did not watch the whole game, John. Somebody told me that the closer of the Mets, Francisco Rodriguez, who blew the save, by the way, was up 10 times. Had him up 10 times, and that's why he only pitched 1 inning. And when the Mets took the lead in the top of the 20th, he couldn't even pitch a second inning. They had to bring in Mike Pelfrey, who pitched on Thursday.
Well, 10 times. You wonder how that's going to affect him down the stretch here.
Grounded from Pena to Young, and that will do it as the Yankees go down in order against Nippert. Let's go to the 6th. It's 4-2 Yankees over the Rangers. Leading 4-2. We were talking about that Mets-Cardinals game. What's the longest game you played in, John?
You know, I was trying to think. I think maybe 15 or 16 innings.
Did you catch all of them?
I caught, yeah, an extra inning game in Colorado, which I don't think it went that long. I think it was maybe 13 or 14. Caught all of that, and then not to pat myself on the back, but came back the next day game to catch that, and that pretty much ended my year. I was so tired that next day game. I had nothing left down the stretch. Yadier
Molina yesterday caught all 20 innings.
Wow.
And got the hit in the 19th to send it to the 20th to tie the game. Hamilton pops it up. Sun has come out, so A-Rod's battling the Sun. And there's one away. Does it look as if Andy has straightened himself out in the last couple of innings?
It does. I mean, obviously the 5th inning was probably his best inning of the day, but it looks like the rhythm has come around a little bit, maybe getting comfortable. And, you know, talk about it a little bit earlier, the difference between him and maybe a younger pitcher. He can figure some things out during a ball game. A lot of times a young pitcher come out of the bullpen, he either has it or he doesn't. Andy Pettitte did not have it early in this ball game and has figured something out in the middle.
Count 1-0 to Guerrero. 78 pitches for Pettitte, so he's in pretty good shape pitch-wise. The 1-0. Caught by Cano, 2 outs. 8 in a row for Pettitte.
Started Guerrero off with a changeup and then jammed him with a fastball, and still strong enough to hit a line drive, but an easy play for Robinson Cano. Check out the location, a little cutter in on his hands, fights it off.
Here's Nelson Cruz. There's a strike. After this game, the Rangers will head to Boston, face the Red Sox. And a strike.
Yankees really staying away from Cruz this whole series. The 1 home run to right field, 3-run shot yesterday.
Strike 3. Cruz down looking. And Andy Pettitte is dealing. 6-pitch inning as the Rangers go down in order. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-2 Yanks.
The new 2010 Land Rover LR4.
The official ice cream of the New York Yankees could be your ticket to the game. Every carton of delicious Turkey Hill Bronx Bomber Sundae and Pinstripe Brownie Blast is a
Sunday afternoon. There's Brett Gardner. Now, John, you could speak to this much better than I can, but I just get a sense watching this Ranger team. Bad body language. They don't feel like they're in the game. Don't feel like they're putting a lot into the at-bats. I mean, to go down when you're down 2 runs in the 6th inning on 6 pitches. I don't understand how a team could do that.
Well, I mean, Andy gets a little bit of credit for that, but it seemed like right when the Rangers gave back the lead, it seemed like this game changed a little bit from a momentum standpoint. And, you know, obviously the first 2 games did not go well. Travel day, head of Boston. You could have talked before this series, kind of a big test for the Texas Rangers coming in here. A lot of expectations in the American League West. Been a very sloppy series defensively.
There's a strike. Josh Hamilton before the series, you know, you talk about litmus test that this could tell you where you are. This is what Josh Hamilton said. We just like playing those teams. We just do anytime you get a chance to go to the stadiums with their history. We just get up for big teams. If you want to be the best, we feel like we have to show them something. Well, I haven't shown them anything really. And next up, they go to Boston. Now tomorrow's an off day. They'll play Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I don't think that they've instilled any fear in the Yankees the way they've played in this 3-game set. So Brett Gardner walks to lead out the 6th. Not a good idea for Nippert.
You know, the Texas Rangers are going to be a better team here in a few weeks when they get Salta Lamacchia back. Ian Kinsler is going to come off the disabled list, play second base, so they're going to be a little stronger offensively. Ron Washington may be a little concerned about the sloppy play in the field, but he feels good about his starting staff. But it's not been a good weekend here in New York.
Gardner stole a base in the 1st inning, his 6th stolen base of the year. And he's become so proficient at stealing bases that it's almost automatic. That's how good he's been. I mean, sometimes he takes a while to go, but when he has it read and he takes off, he's usually in there. I think he's about a 90% stealer over his career. I'd say, last time I looked, it was 87.5.
Ron Washington, the manager of the Rangers, gave him quite a compliment, comparing him to Ichiro after yesterday's ball game with the infield hits. And it is definitely a weapon when he gets on base. You can sense that the trainer, the catcher, is thinking about him. Nippert, the pitcher, paying attention, changing his delivery. Because of that, Nick Johnson's probably going to get some good pitches to hit.
45 stolen bases in 51 attempts in his career.
We saw early in this ball game, Trainer, the catcher for the Rangers, actually had the best chance that he could have had at throwing out Brett Gardner, and he rushed the throw a little bit, and it was a little short to the right.
Fly ball, shallow right, Cruz. And there's one away. Now we talk about Nick Johnson with you know, all the walks and everything, but he's got to start hitting because he is 0 for 3. But Mark Teixeira has to start hitting. I mean, maybe he started here in the 3rd with the Coors Light cold hard blast. First home run of the year. And even when he hit into the double play in the 4th inning, Johnny hit the ball very hard.
He did, and we talked earlier about when you go through a slump and how it plays games with you mentally. You got to believe he was feeling good after that home run, and then, like you said, he hit his last ball hard. Unfortunately for him, it was a double play, but you had to feel good about the swing. I think at this point, he's been working underneath. If he can hit hard ground balls and line drives, that'll be a positive sign.
No, we talked about the Rangers not playing well in this series and then going to Boston. And, you know, they're 5-6 in their first 11 games. That's not good when the president of the team, Nolan Ryan, a Hall of Famer, has come out and said publicly this is a 92-win team. Line drive to 3rd. So Teixeira makes the 2nd out as Gardner scrambles back. That's got to put a lot of pressure on Washington after what happened last year with failing the drug test and the team staying with him. But he knew that if the president says we're a 92-win team and all of a sudden in April you're a couple of games under, that doesn't bode well for you. The team, though, is behind Washington. We've told you that throughout the weekend. They've rallied behind him. Here's Alex Rodriguez. Count 1-0.
Alex having a good day, a couple of walks, a base hit. Brett Gardner has not gotten a good read on Nippert in his delivery. He's not gotten a good jump over there. See if we can get in scoring position for Alex Rodriguez.
There he goes. Throw to second. Not even close. Another stolen base for Gardner, his 7th of the year. 46th of his career in 52 tries.
Take a look at the jump. A decent jump. Good job by Alex Rodriguez taking this pitch, giving Brett the opportunity to get himself into scoring position. It looked like there was a little contact. Fastball right down the middle. Trainer a strong throw, but just up the line. Like be a little contact with Blanco, the second baseman. Say good job by Alex. There's a fastball right down the middle, but you give your base runner an opportunity to get into scoring position with 2 outs. Now you hope you can get a pitch to get a base hit, 2-out RBI.
Nice pitch there as A-Rod swings over the top, 2-2.
Little changeup, a 2-1 count. Unusual you see a right-handed pitcher throwing a changeup to a right-handed hitter in Alex Rodriguez. Effective, middle of the plate down. Alex fooled on the speed. Swings right over the top.
And the count full at 3-2 with Cano on deck. Alex has a lot of the day on his uniform. Been on base all 3 times and he's wearing it. Fouled away.
Well, Nippert coming right at Alex Rodriguez and beats him with a fastball that he fouls off. First base open, Robinson Cano on deck. Nippert proud of his fastball, went right after Alex Rodriguez.
Time is called as trainer goes out to talk with Nippert.
Sure, this is a talk about pitch selection here. We talked all weekend about pitchers reading swings. You beat Alex with a fastball the pitch before. See if they want to go with it again. Maybe try to get him to chase a changeup or a curveball down.
And Rodriguez walks for the 3rd time today. 3 walks and a single.
Nippert went with that changeup 3-2, just missed down in the zone, and now Robinson Cano another RBI opportunity. There's a sacrifice fly in this game with an RBI, a strikeout and a walk.
Yankees have walked 8 times today, 3 by A-Rod. Count 1-0. You talk about why Yankee games are longer than other games. It's not because people are stalling. It's because people are walking. And people aren't throwing them strikes, and the Yankees aren't expanding the strike zone. So if you're going to have 8 walks, you're going to have longer games. You're going to have a lot of 3-2 counts. You're going to have longer games. Wow. Fastball went right at him.
Nipper taking his time after that pitch. Steps off on the grass.
Well, the rule is, I guess, 12 seconds after you get the ball. Dribbled slowly in front of the plate. Trainer, and that will do it here in the 6th. So the 2 walks do not hurt Dustin Nipper. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left. Let's take this baby to the 7th at 4-2 Yankees. Pitchers brought to you by Fios TV, internet and phone. This is beyond cable. This is Fios. Gio Gonzalez, one of the A starters. Most of them are doing great. 1-0, 3.38. Javi Vasquez looking for his first Yankee win, looking to straighten things out. The coverage begins at 9:30 p.m. on the YES Network. That's a Tuesday start. Yankees have the day off tomorrow.
His 3rd start of the year for Javier Vasquez. Is it too early to say it's a big one, Michael? I mean,
I think he needs a win or 2 on this road trip before he makes his next start at Yankee Stadium. There's Ryan Garco. I asked Joe Girardi today, and you'll hear a lot of this on the Joe Girardi show at 5 o'clock after the game. Are they worried about him health-wise? And he said no, because his velocity is down. He said, but you know what? I've been thinking about it. He goes, maybe because the velocity was not what it is now in spring training. It was higher. He said, I'm just guessing maybe he's going through a dead arm period a little bit earlier. Verizon Wireless scoreboard, Yankees lead 4-2.
Well, I'm going to be working that game Tuesday, so obviously going to be very excited to see how Javi Vasquez does. But, you know, from the 2 starts I've seen, Michael, it seems like when he gets in trouble, he really goes to his best pitch, which is his changeup.
There's a ground ball to 3rd, and Garco is out. Let's check in again with Bob Lorenz in our YES Network studios. Robert?
Michael, thank you. The Rays have tacked on a couple more against John Lester at Fenway. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, top of the 3rd, and that's Ben Zobrist. The base hit out to right center, 2-run score. Now 4-0 Rays in the bottom of the 4th, and the Red Sox don't have a hit yet against Matt Garza.
Thank you, Bob. So we will hear from Bob obviously a little bit later on, and also in the post game. 1 away. Here's David Murphy. And a strike.
Well, we knew Tampa was going to be a good team coming into this year. If maybe they get off to a slow start, they might start moving some players, but that's not the case. Up 4-0 in Boston, 8-3 on the year.
You know, one of the I think the misconceptions about the Rays is that, you know, the window is closing on them. I don't think it's closing on them at all, because if you watch them at all in spring training, they've got a lot of young talent in the pipeline. If they lose Carl Crawford to free agents, they've got outfield. Are they as good as Carl Crawford? No, but they've got talented players. And the same thing with Carlos Pena at first. It'll be a different team, but I don't think they all of a sudden sink back down to the American League East.
It's all about starting pitching. When you have David Price, who looked outstanding that game against the Yankees. Speaking of outstanding, Andy Pettitte has really found it in the middle of this ball game. Making it look easy now. Pitch count at 89 with 2 outs in the 7th.
There's Matt Trainer, 2 outs in the top of the 7th. He's retired 10 in a row, Pettitte has, and there's a strike. .90 pitches for Andy Pettitte.
A good lesson for young pitchers watching this ball game when Andy didn't have a whole lot early on. Now you watch the second half.
There's a ground ball to short, backhanded by Pena, the long throw. 91 pitches for Andy Pettitte and a 9-pitch 1-2-3 inning, and he's retired 11 in a row. For the Rangers, they go down in order at the end of 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch here at Yankee Stadium. Yankees are leading 4-2, but we'll keep it right here to honor America in the Bronx.
I mean, to every man on that team, that meant something.
Well, I think it just shows you how much the players appreciate what Gino's done over his years here and what he means to us. And it was an emotional moment, and I give George a big, round of applause for recognizing that moment and saying something and letting Gino feel the love of the people of New York.
Now, another emotional part of the day was Hideki Matsui happened to be playing for the visiting team, the MVP of last year's World Series, and he comes out and he gets a huge ovation, and no disrespect to anybody in a Yankee uniform, that was the biggest hand of the day.
Yeah, people really appreciate what Hideki did over 7 years here and what he did in the World Series. And of course, Jeet got involved because Jeet put the giveaway ring that we had in Tampa, the little ring that we got in spring training that they handed out to all the fans, he put it in his box. And we knew that Hideki wouldn't see anyone else's ring, and it would be, we'd have a little fun with it. And Mike Scioscia said, I thought it didn't quite look right for a Yankee ring. And then during the, when they announced the teams, I ran out and gave Hideki his real ring. But it shows you how much love that the players had for Hideki, the way they surrounded him and gave him a big hug. And it was almost like he hit a walk-off homer, and guys were jumping all over him.
And you know what was also cool? Usually, the starting pitcher on a day that something special is happening kind of gets stiffed. He doesn't come to run out on the line or anything like that. But the fact that Andy Pettitte worked his day around that he could actually come out and get the ring shows you what the ring means to these guys.
It meant so much to everyone. And, everyone talks about the core four. And I watched Mo come out. It looked like Mo, that was the first ring he ever got. And it meant a lot to him. And it was great that Andy closed the stadium out last year here, the last game, and started the first game. And the fact that he worked it in, because Andy's a very busy person on the day that he pitches, just shows you how much he appreciated it.
Now, before we move on to the game of that day, talk to me about what the ring means, because I know players play for money. That's their profession, and they play for the love of the game because that's what started them as children. But it seems like the one thing that supersedes the money and the fame, everybody wants that ring. Why is that so important?
Well, I think most of us had played in the backyard and dreamed about being a World Series champion since we were little boys. And whether you're hitting a walk-off homer back then or, whatever you're doing, it's a huge sense of accomplishment. It's a bond that is formed between those teammates that is never broken. I think of the teammates I had 96, 98, 99. There's something special about that. And it marks the significance of what you accomplished as a team. For me, I don't ever wear my rings, but it's the memories that I cherish of those years, and that ring is just a signal of those.
All right, and the Yankees go out and they win the game, which kind of makes it even a perfect day for you, right?
It was, because a lot of times in those days, it can be spoiled by at the end of the day a little bit by what happens on the field. But we played a very nice ball game. We won it. Andy pitched great, and it was just a great day.
And Derek Jeter hits a home run, and Nick Johnson hits a home run. Let me ask you about Nick. You think he's going to hit more home runs than he usually does this year? Because this ballpark seems set for him.
I think he probably could. And he's worked very hard with Kevin Long about using his backside more and getting through. But the thing about Nick is we're not asking him to hit more home runs. We're asking him to get on base and to drive in runs like he's done in his career so far. And if he does that, we'll be very happy.
And the perfect ending to the day had to be Mariano Rivera getting the final out.
Yeah, someone said to me, it's kind of interesting how the core four, as they call it, were very significant in that game, and all of them played an important role.
All right, so that was the home opener, but there were several other games during the week. We will look at those, also look ahead to a West Coast trip the Yankees have coming up, and of course you can ask your questions throughout the week. You just go to AskJoe@YesNetwork.com, and then we will cull the best ones and then ask Joe ourselves. So there you have it. WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show continues in just a moment. Welcome back to WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show, everybody. We just talked about the home opener and the ring ceremonies, but there were games after that. And obviously the second game of the Angel series did not go the way the Yankees wanted. Javier Vazquez, again, didn't pitch that well. Any concerns?
Well, I thought he pitched better than he did in Tampa.
Right.
And he gave up 3 runs basically in 5 1/3, 5 2/3, and another run scored. And I thought he pitched better. He had the one inning, I think, in the third where he gave up 2 runs, and the last time that was a 5-run inning, and he was able to stop that. Are there concerns? I mean, obviously you want guys to get off to good starts because you don't want it to play with their emotions. Overall, I think he's going to be fine, but I'd like to get him a win so he can get on a roll.
Are you worried at all, Joe, that because of 2004 and the fans seem like they're poised to jump if he doesn't do the right thing, that he's got to get some wins under his belt on this road trip?
You do worry about that because you want the fans to get behind him. And obviously what the club went through in 2004 is a memory that Yankee fans, don't like. The thing about when you get to come back as a Yankee, you get a chance to rewrite the script. Or even during the course of a season, you can rewrite the script. I think of Damaso Marte and how he was booed in April last year and how important he was to us in October and November. And Javi has a chance to do that. And I think Javi's going to have a good year, but, you know, we need to get him some wins.
And I keep reading, though, about the velocity is not what it was last year. Why not, Joe?
Well, you know what? It was there in spring training. So my thought is maybe he's going through a little bit of a dead arm period. It's possible that he's going through that. I think his velocity will get back. This extra day's rest could help him as well.
Are you guys concerned that he's hurt?
No, I'm not concerned that he's hurt. I think he's healthy. He has not been receiving treatment, so that's not a concern.
All right, the final game of the Angels series had Phil Hughes making his first start of the year. He made his first 2 starts, just pitching simulated games out of the bullpen, got his work days as well. He ended up getting the win. He struck out more batters than innings pitched, but also walked too many. So how do you grade him on that day?
Well, I thought he had a pretty good day because it's a day that you worry about guys controlling their emotions, the first start that they get. So I thought he had a very good day. Very pleased with the way he threw the baseball. He used all his pitches, mixed them up. I mean, the Angels are a patient team, and they're going to make you work. They made all our pitchers work during the course of that series, so I was pleased.
All right, and that was also Jackie Robinson Day, and how apropos that the guy that's named after Jackie Robinson, Robinson Cano, hits 2 home runs.
Well, I had to have been a huge thrill for Robbie, and for all of us to remember Jackie Robinson, who did so much for our country in the game of baseball. It's just a great day, and for Robinson Cano to come through, awesome.
Now, a guy who's been a triples machine with the Tigers in a bigger ballpark, although his triples actually come the same as on the road as they did at Comerica. Curtis Granderson has 2 triples that day.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing because you don't see a lot of triples hit in this ballpark. Gardy's a guy that could hit triples, Derek's a guy that hit triples, but there aren't a lot. And to have 2 in one day, I got to believe we didn't see that last year.
And he doesn't seem like he's having that slow indoctrination period with the Yankees. He hits a home run his first time up, that big home run against Papelbon. He seems like he's settling in.
He seemed to slide right in. For whatever reason, you know, he's very even keel, he's very educated. He loves to play the game. He plays with a smile on his face and a lot of energy. He has slid right in and got off to a great start.
Now, he actually, to me, I think he's tracked every ball out there that you could possibly track, but then word came toward the end of the week that he's having a hard time picking up the ball here at the stadium. What's up with that?
Well, I mean, I talked to Rob Thompson, and he said he's fine. I mean, and we've had day games, and a lot of times during day games, it's tougher to see in stadiums. You'll hear infielders talk about that because people wear white shirts, and sometimes the ball gets caught up in those white shirts. But to me, he's looked great in the outfield as well.
Now, talking about looking great, if you watch Friday's game, it was amazing. The Texas Rangers coming to town. There was rain in the forecast. CC Sabathia went on the mound. I mean, he was so good. He was lights out. He didn't walk anybody. He struck out 9. It was a 6-inning rain-shortened day, but he just was dealing.
He threw 58 strikes out of 73 pitches, and that's as good as we've seen him. And I know the time before he almost threw a no-hitter. So, I mean, he was great. It was great to give our bullpen a day off. You know, CC's got 2 wins in the month of April, and last April he started off a little bit slow, but he looks like he's in mid-season form right now.
Do you manage differently in a game where there is such a clear band of rain coming in? Do you try to get runs early? Do you play for small ball like you would in the 8th inning if it was a tie game?
Well, I had heard that it was going to come between 9 and 9:30, so you figure you're going to get 5 or 6 innings. So you don't play too small. You kind of manage the game, and there was talk that it may not be heavy enough to stop the game, so I managed the game pretty normal.
All right, now, if there was an hour rain delay, I always like to play the what-if game with you. Would he have come back out?
No, he was done.
What was the delay that you would have let him come out?
You know, because the inning that we had in the bottom of the 6th was about 15 minutes, we probably would have waited about 15, 20 minutes at the most.
That would be it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then on Saturday, it's the turn of A.J. Burnett. And I really liked the way he looked on Saturday. He was challenging with the fastball through strikes for the most part, really looked dominant over 7 innings.
He did, and he didn't walk a lot of guys, didn't give up a lot of base hits, threw another good game. And the thing that we're seeing right now is our starters have kind of gotten on a roll, and each guy's trying to outdo the guy the day before, and I love that competition, and that's how you put winning streaks together.
I do have a question about it, though. He is up in the high 90s, I think, going into the 7th, and you let him pitch. I know you're trying to stretch guys out, but the game, not that it was out of hand, it was 7-0, I think. Why would you let him pitch the 7th?
Well, because you do want to get him stretched out, and his stuff was still good. I didn't have any concerns about his stuff, and the time before, I think he had thrown 94 pitches, and we're usually comfortable letting him go 15 more than the time before as we're building him up. So we thought it was important that he got out there and gave us 7 innings.
Also, Saturday's game, A-Rod hits his first home run. And it was to right center field, so that's always significant with him.
Well, that's always a good sign because that means he's staying on the baseball, and he moved up another notch on the home run list. and I believe Frank Robinson is next.
All right, now Jorge Posada on that day also got his 1,500th hit. Only 3 Yankee catchers have ever done that. Yogi Berra, Bill Dickey, and Thurman Munson, nice company.
You know, Georgie has had an amazing career, and the great thing about it is it's not over. He still has baseball left in him, and he's off to a great start. And you were right, there was a lot of news this week. Sometimes you forget about it, and you're reminding about all of it.
Unbelievable. Do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
You know, it depends on how he ends up. Right? Yeah, I definitely think he's in the discussion because of, you know, what he's done and the home runs that he's hit. I mean, there's not many catchers in baseball that have ever hit more home runs than him. The championships, the RBIs that he's had. I mean, I definitely think he's in the contention.
And one final thing about Saturday, Joe. Brett Gardner gets 3 hits and I think the total of 180 feet, never left the infield. It's great to have speed.
It is great to have speed. We had the bases loaded and didn't get the ball out of the infield. I mean, we like being athletic. We have some athletic players here. But Brett Gardner has done a good job, and he has not played every day. We've had Marcus against some of the lefties, but Brett Gardner has caused havoc. You know, he steals a base, they throw the ball away. He just creates issues for the defense.
Now coming up, the Yankees head to the West Coast. Is it California dreaming for Joe Girardi? We'll talk to him about that. Then after that, you get a chance to ask him some questions as well as WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show continues right here on Yes. Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show here on the Yes Network. That's Joe Girardi. I'm Michael Kay. After the Sunday game at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees head to the West Coast, first to Oakland and then to Anaheim. Teams usually don't like the West Coast, do you?
I do like going out there, and I know sometimes you have problems and you have a hard time adjusting to the time zone, but I mean, I enjoy seeing that part of the country, and Oakland's playing extremely well, and the Anaheim has started to heat up a little bit as well, so it will be a tough road trip.
Let's get into specifics with Oakland. Everybody expected them to be the dregs of the American League West, and they've had unbelievable pitching, Joe.
Well, they've given up 39 runs in 13 games, so I mean, you figure that's 3 runs a game, and they've scored about 4.5. So all the games that they're playing in are extremely close. They have talented young starters. They have a good back end of the bullpen. Andrew Bailey, who was the Rookie of the Year, is their closer, and they're playing very good.
What are they doing offensively? Are they just scraping by?
Well, it's not a club and it's not a ballpark you're going to see a lot of home runs, but they do have speed. They have Rajah Davis in center field, who's extremely fast. They are somewhat athletic. Cliff Pennington, their young shortstop, is off to a great start. I think he has 10 RBIs at this point, so they're playing extremely well.
Now you head out there, and it's such a long flight because you're flying against the wind, and it's usually about 6 hours. And training techniques are so advanced right now, but I wonder, what do you do for a team so they just don't get zonked on that flight?
Well, we make them run around the plane 3 times. No, I mean, you ask guys to get up, move around, and guys have done it enough, they know what to do. And tomorrow we have a day off, so guys will get somewhat accustomed to the time zone and walk around and do some things guys will work out. But, I mean, it's just something that your body has to go through it. The teams on the West Coast, when they come east, they have to adjust as well.
Now, you also, after Oakland, you go see the Angels. It'll be the second time you see them in about a week. Who gets the advantage there? The teams that won before or the team that got beaten before?
Well, I mean, that's been a tough place to play, and they play extremely well there. And I believe it's the exact same pitching matchups. We're going to see the exact same 3 pitchers they threw at us here. So, I mean, it's 2 very good baseball teams, probably going to play some tight games. I think we're a national TV game on Saturday, so I expect that to be a tough series as
Joe,
well.
Joe, why has that always been such a tough stop for the Yankees? Because I think since '96, they're probably the only team that has a winning record against the Yankees. What makes them so difficult?
Well, I think sometimes their athletic ability has given the Yankees trouble. They run the bases extremely well, first to third, they steal a lot. I mean, they seem a little bit different without Figgins this year. I mean, that remains to be seen, and the middle of their lineup is still very tough, and Matsui is there, and he seems to love hitting out there. So it's just a talented team. I mean, sometimes when people say, well, you have a tough time playing out there, they're not giving the other team enough credit and how good they are.
Now, Socia did tell me that this is a different team, as you just said, without Figgins. He said, I don't think we could do on the bases what we used to do. Did you sense that in the first 3-game series?
A little bit, because, you know, Figgins was the guy that stole about 50 bases last year, and you take that away. And, you know, Brandon Wood has been playing third base for them, and he's not going to steal 50 bases, so that changes their team a little bit.
Now, speaking of a stat that might interest you, going into the series against the Oakland A's, the Yankees have won their first 4 series. Did you realize, Joe, that that's the first time that this organization has done that since Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth were together in 1926?
Yeah, I was informed of that stat yesterday, and the time before that was 1922. And you think of an organization with such great tradition in all the championship teams, you think that would have happened somewhere between 1926 and 2010, but it hasn't.
So from Miller Huggins to Joe Girardi.
It's a long time.
It's a long time, really long time.
I'd like to make it 5.
We'll see you in Oakland. Anyway, when we come back, you get a chance to ask the questions to Joe. You can do this throughout the week. Ask Joe at YesNetwork.com. We'll ask him those questions next on WB Mason Presents The Joe Girardi Show, right here on Yes. Girardi Show, Michael Kay along with Joe Girardi, the star of the show. Now you get a chance to be the star, and you ask the questions throughout the week. You could go online, ask Joe at YesNetwork.com, and we'll pick out the best questions. So here they are. You ready, Joe?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. This is from Cynthia. Joe, using Granderson's and Johnson's home run totals from last year and the short porch in right field, how much do you think their totals will go up due to the short porch in right field?
You know, that's hard to say. And the one thing that we've talked about is we don't want them to try to hit home runs. Just let them come. Because if they get in those bad habits, we think their average will drop. We think the on-base percentage will drop. So, I mean, how many more is it going to translate? I don't know. I think Curtis Granderson hit 30 last year, and I think they were pretty equal. They were pretty split. So, who knows?
Now, one thing about the home runs that I wanted to ask you before just reminded me. Last year, there was one game out of the 81 during the regular season that there was not a home run hit at this ballpark. In the first week of games, there have been 2 games without home runs. Is the ballpark playing differently?
It is this April than compared to last April, and you know, the only thing I could tell you, you know, and it's probably not even an educated guess, is wind patterns. Maybe the wind patterns are different this April.
Maybe because of the other ballpark being down.
Could be down too as well, and you know, we'll see how it plays out.
All right, this is Todd from Warwick, Rhode Island. You've been around baseball a long time, which is a nice way of saying you're old.
Thanks, Todd.
Does your team have one of the best 5 through 9 bottom of the lineup hitters you've seen?
I do like it a lot, and you have to give them a whole year together before you evaluate that. But we have power, we have speed, we have patience, we have a lot of different things in those bottom 5 guys. And we have left, we have switch hitters, we have everything that you'd want in a lineup. So they are very good, but we got to give them the whole season before we can really truly evaluate.
This one is from Colby. Nick Johnson wears down pitchers with the amount of pitches he takes and the tough at-bats he provides. How does that positively affect the lineup around him?
Well, I think it makes it tougher on the pitchers to navigate through, and maybe they're a little bit more tired when they get to the next guy, or they had a real tough at-bat with Nick Johnson, and now you got to face Tex, or you've had 2 tough at-bats in a row, now you're facing A-Rod. I think it wears a pitcher down mentally and physically.
All right, this is from Melvin in New York City. How good has your 1-2-3 punch been at the top of your rotation? These guys have just been great since the beginning of last season.
They've been very, very good. Andy's had 2 outstanding starts. AJ's had 2 outstanding starts, and so has CC. We're very pleased with how all of them are throwing the baseball. You just want to keep them on a roll.
All right, Joe, thanks a lot. Another edition is done.
Thanks, Michael.
Have a great West Coast trip.
Thank you. We'll miss you.
All right, that's Joe Girardi. I'm Michael Kay. Please tune in for a premiere of the new Joe Girardi Show every Sunday right here on the Yes Network. So we hope you have a great week. See you, everybody.